Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Walter of Lit One. He is a man of many hats. So today he's going by Lit One, but you can also find him on As the Money Talks on YouTube and Spotify, where he talks about money, of course. Also, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. So also, Walter is our resident money expert. He has been in the industry for about 30 years, maybe a little bit longer at this point. And he has advised a whole host of people, from everyday people to celebrities, in helping make money, save it, and invest in everything you can think of. So he is the guy to ask a question, and if he doesn't know, he'll try to figure it out. So anyway, I'd like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You are the other side of the conversation. Curtis, how you doing? Complex Blackness, Miss Corliss, and Big Rich, how are you? Today we're going to be talking about 4 Walmarts suddenly closing in Chicago. So it's about half of the stores that closed. So we'll get into that. Also see what we can do, because as you guys know, when stores close in our neighborhoods, usually it causes more of a food desert. So of course we want you to ask your money questions and all that after we get done with this topic. So Walter's very busy. They're still working in the background. And also I want to say, you guys, I'm going to open up the link in just a minute for you guys to click on and, give your opinion about what's going on. If you want to ask a question, all that we ask is, if I don't know you and I haven't seen you come on here before, just show me your face. That way, and then I can see, who you are. And if you don't want your face to be shown after that, you can put a picture up or whatever the case is. So Alyssa, how are you? And Don, brother Don, our moderator, how you doing? So Walter, what's going on with you?
Over here counting my money. Shit, the only thing I care about, my kids are grown. I care about nothing else but the money. And you can buy love and affection. So
is that what we own today?
That's what I'm on every day. Shit, people say money can't buy you happiness. You pull a Ferrari up in front of the fruit spot, you'd be happy for the night.
Okay. So let's see here. Alyssa, he says, come on, Walmart. You can't allow all the stores to go under. Yeah, we're going to get into that. Karen, how you doing? Brother Reggie, what's going on? Alyssa, you said, I love me some Walmart. I'm on the middle, I'm on the fence with Walmart. I keep saying I ain't going to go back up in there no more, because I always see or hear something in there that makes me like, you know better. You wasn't supposed to be coming back up here anymore. One of the last times I went, my daughter and I were in one of the aisles, and we hear ah. So we like freeze, like, oh my God, is it going down? Like, what's going on? And I said, see, I wasn't supposed to be coming up in here no more. And then another sister pastor, so she had her eyes that wide too. And I was like, did you hear some hollering up in here? She said, yeah. I was like, all right, we're about to get up out of here. So yeah, and Corliss, you talk about Walmart needs to close. Yeah, I know you have your reasons for saying that. And Rain, how are you today? So, all right. And yes, if y'all could hit the like button, I love and appreciate you for that. All right, where do I begin? As you guys may or may not know, 4 Walmarts in Chicago, Illinois, have decided to suddenly close, right? A lot of people were bewildered, like, what's going on? What are we going to do now type of thing? Well, there's a whole host of reasons as to why they're closing, and I'm going to get into it in just a few, but I'm going to show you guys a video of them explaining it just a little bit more. Beats by Dizzy, how you doing? And Miss Kimmy, what's going on with you? So here we go.
Been taken down, signaling the closure of 4 Walmart stores across the city today, leaving just 4 locations left in Chicago. Tonight, shoppers visiting this Walmart in Lakeview for the final time before they shutter their doors permanently.
They just suddenly say we're closing. It's like, That's it? No warning?
The shocking announcement made only 5 days ago before 4 locations in Lakeview, Bronzeville, Chatham, and Little Village officially closed Sunday at 7 p.m.
Just overall, just it not being here, it's just going to be very devastating to the community.
The company saying in a statement last week, in part, quote, "Our Chicago stores have not been profitable since we opened the first one nearly 17 years ago. These stores lose tens of millions of dollars a year, and their annual losses nearly doubled in just the last 5 years."
It's pretty sad to see them go. They've been here for a long time, getting food, prescriptions, clothing. It's been a pillar in the community.
A community organization called My Block, My Hood, My City coordinated a food giveaway on the day of the closures, handing out 1,000 free boxes of food in Chatham to highlight the plight of a community that already had a scarcity of affordable, healthy food options.
Everybody gets so excited when they hear that they come into the neighborhood. They come in, especially they got the fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and then within a matter of years, it's like the corporation decides that their bottom line is more important than the community's health. These neighborhoods are struggling.
While the 4 Walmarts have closed tonight, their pharmacies will remain open for 30 more days. The group My Block, My Hood, My City says they plan to continue holding food giveaways in this former Walmart parking lot once a month.
Oops. No, hold on.
Go ahead.
No, I was trying to remove it, but I was doing something stupid. Okay, so did you want to jump in there? And hello, Brother Jonell, how are you? And Master Akbaro, how you doing? You got a whole bunch of hashtags going on there. Alyssa, you said they just upped your credit card to $2,000 spending limit. I know that's right. So, Walter, did you want to go ahead and jump in?
Yeah, I think we can keep this subject quick and to the point. First of all, it's not your hood, it's not your store. It ain't your block. You don't own shit. Walmart is a business. Black people, we need to stop asking businesses to do shit, give us shit. They are a for-profit business. We said it clear as day. We've been losing money for years. Those are not profitable stores. Who on this podcast, who in the neighborhood, my hood, they hood, whose ever hood it is, but they ain't on title, will keep a business open and lose millions of dollars since day one?
Well, let me give it a little bit more context. And one cool uncle, thank you so much for the collection plate. Love and appreciate you for that. Y'all. So y'all agreeing, but let me give it a little bit of a context here, okay?
Ain't no context.
It is. Well, let me fill it in. So the My Block, My Hood, whatever it is, it's like a nonprofit where they food giveaway where they're helping to feed the community. So like a food bank type of thing. So that's what they are. All right. So it sounds like there was some protests in regards to them leaving. People were like, okay, well, what are we going to do now type of thing. But I found it to be funny because in a lot of those cases, when the Walmarts were heard that they were going into some of these neighborhoods, people were like, no, we don't want you here because they destroy the mom and the pop stores, right? So the thing that I found disturbing about Walmart leaving is, okay, now that y'all have gone, and they said the longest one was there 17 years, you destroyed probably a lot of the mom and pop grocery stores that were there, because we know once the big box stores come into a neighborhood, then people tend not to shop with the mom and pop. So now there's no mom and pops, and the Walmarts, are leaving probably in the neighborhoods where I guess they kind of need them. Now that there's more of a food desert. And so they said during the 2020 riots, if you will, the George Floyd, I should say, there was, they say, a lot of looting. And so then and then plus the pandemic and all that. And so once they open, they cannot really rebound. Now they also said a couple of reasons why they're not turning a profit is because I guess union issues, theft, and security issues, right? And it also says that in urban areas, it's hard for some of those stores to turn a profit. What else is here? So they closed 3 neighborhood markets. So that's really geared toward like being a grocery store more than like a Walmart, and 1 super center. Now the other thing, as they might have said in the news clip, the pharmacy is an issue because a lot of people get their medications, from the pharmacies because Walmart has a pharmacy. But those Walmarts will be staying open another 30 days so people can figure out other options to getting their medication. And so it should be said that when grocery stores leave the neighborhoods, it does create a food desert. And I want to say a food desert, we're not talking about the little liquor stores and things like that. We're talking about fully operational grocery stores where you can get a wide variety of food and, different things like that. So that's the context that I wanted to add. Okay, continue. Let's see who else came on here before you go all the way off.
I'm not going all the way off. Anyways.
Hello, Super Patriot. Freddy B, what's going on with you? Alyssa said, right, they are a good business, brother. Okay. And Super Patriot talking about ain't no context. Well, don't y'all want to know a little bit of the history behind why they say they're closing? Now, of course, they say there's a lot of theft. And I was at Walmart not too long ago, and everything, I guess, I went into the health and beauty part of it. When I say everything was behind the locked glass, I mean everything, all the way down to a nail file. I'm like, is it that bad? And the lady said, yeah, it's pretty bad. So I'm like, damn. But anyway, Brother Jonell, you said the black man and woman must do something for self or suffer the consequences. Quote the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. These words are constantly being fulfilled. Our dependency has been proving to be our demise. What is Walmart doing that we don't have the ability to do? I totally agree with you. And Corliss, you say absolutely. And Rose Gold, how are you doing? Since I'm from Chicago, those areas did not have mom and pop stores that actually helped the neighborhoods. Okay, so you're saying there wasn't a big loss then. Okay, got it. And Alyssa says, also the employee program helped Black employees with car purchases and homes. Okay. And Eunice, how you doing? You say, I hope all is well. It is, and we hope all is well with you. And Rose Gold says, also, one of the Walmarts that was closed in the suburbs actually was a nice suburb. Okay, so it wasn't just the neighborhoods. Got you. And Jonelle says, good, let's pool our resources and establish Black marts and secure our own businesses. We got to have vision beyond depending on pirates of Black economics. Yep. And Alyssa says, mom and pops have to open either high prices. Yep. In the game or business, there's competition. You have to be strategic with a marketing plan. Don't just have high prices. But, the old school mom and pops, like those are probably not anymore. But their prices were pretty reasonable. But stores nowadays that we open, they tend to be a little bit higher because they don't have the traffic going in there. LP, how you doing? Says the community needs to step up in regards to theft protests against the culprits. Yeah, but then the other thing is we got to ask what's going on with the thefts. Now, I ain't saying people need to be up in there stealing makeup, and I'm not saying they need to be stealing at all, but what's causing people to steal? And what I'd be interested in knowing, what are they stealing? Like, is it food? Like what's going on? Just out of curiosity. Hello, Easy. How are you today? Alyssa says, mom and pops go under because they don't strategize and usually have high prices. Yes, especially nowadays. Corley says, it's more employees stealing from Walmart than customers. You know what? I used to work at Walmart in 1993, right? And I would always see them doing the walk of shame. And that walk of shame was employees getting walked out in handcuffs by the manager and police officers. And they make sure to walk them all around the store so everybody could see them. Usually they got in trouble for stealing or something. I'm like, yikes. How embarrassing. But usually they be stealing like, a lot of money or things like that. And Ebony, how you doing? Says Black people should open up a farmer's market in the community. Yep, I totally agree. And Rose Goldie says they're closing Lakeview rather, which is a mostly white neighborhood. Bronzeville is an upcoming neighborhood. Little Village is a Latino neighborhood. And Chatham, I hope I said that right, which is a south side. They did loot it. Oh, okay. Hey, Dwayne, how you doing? Thank you so much. And Tracy, what's going on? All right, Walter, jump on in there.
Shit, this show might last all night. So, it's funny. People always say that Walmart destroys mom and pop. That's actually not true. If you think about Walmart for a second, when you talk about helping the community, you have this giant behemoth that comes in with hundreds and hundreds of jobs. Not only hundreds of jobs for that store, they support all the people in that neighborhood. Think how many people work in the neighborhood that do Uber Eats, that does Instacarts, that do all these different things, that they go to Walmart, pick up products and take to other people. All the businesses, the people that go to the parking lot and sell clothes and hats and CDs. You think about all the other things. When you bring a Walmart to a neighborhood, all the other businesses that make money from the people that go inside of Walmart. So that's the stuff you really don't hear these AOC people talking about, like Walmart destroyed Ma and Pa. No, they didn't. Ma and Pa, they're selling liquor and alcohol. And it's funny to me that those liquor stores never, we could have a nuclear weapon drop on Chicago and the liquor store would be the last thing standing. That's got nothing to do with the white man. It's got nothing to do but economics. We like to drink, smoke, Black and Mild, and chew tobacco and walk up in those liquor stores. That is our fault. And so you made a good point. Walmart, they show up, we protest. They leave, we protest. And for what, do you know how expensive it is to close a major store like that? Not only are they going to close it, they probably are still stuck in a lease that they're going to have to pay for Lord knows how long. All the inventory, moving all that shit, all the severance packages, all the stuff it takes for them to move those stores is horrendous. So when we get to a point where we say, you know what, we're going to, one, contribute to the neighborhood, like we should have our own stores, but we don't. And then you mentioned something about union, theft, and security. Those are Democrat liberal issues. I open a grocery store and here come Union Joe and Jack telling me how I got to deal with my employees. My employees, these people belong to me when they're on my clock. I pay them and they're not slaves. So they come to work voluntarily and agree to get this check and get the benefits and all the things that I offer. And then you want to bring a union in and tell me how to do it? Those situations don't work. And then the theft, we don't even have to talk about that because you talked about that already. And then the security, you go, and Black people, we need to deal with this shit. And this starting to get really, really, really embarrassing. Even when we went to the Turkey Leg Hut, it's a pretty decent restaurant. For a turkey leg joint, I was like, okay, this is the spot. They have music, daiquiris. It was a cool vibe. It was a cool joint. But they got 3 security guards. Armed. When was the last time you saw an armed security guard at a chicken joint or a restaurant? Like, so those issues belong to us 100%. And then I watched the looting video in Chicago where they looted the city. They tore that city up. And then the mayor of Chicago comes on talking about, well, we need jobs and they don't have a place. They don't have resources. So that's a reason to rob and steal? So you tell me you're going to break somebody's window, flip somebody's car over and light it on fire, and that's going to help you eat tonight.
Well, I should say too, yeah, there was people doing that, and that's ridiculous. But unfortunately, the media as well, they like to make that overshadow why the protesting is going on. So yeah, that happens in a lot of cases too. It wasn't us that was doing it. It's been documentation, especially during the George Floyd protest, that it was actually the police that was jumping those things off. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit more than meets the eye as, oh, it's just not. I can't speak to what was going on in Chicago this weekend, though.
I mean, of course the police have something to do with it sometimes because they need job security. So if everybody was just marching peacefully, there wouldn't be a need for police. So I get it. I believe there's some of that. But like, and as far as the other races, Filipinos, the whites, the Haitians, us, I don't really care about that. Not that I don't care about them, but that's not our problem. Like, I don't see a bunch of Filipinos or white people tearing up shit. That don't bother me because that's their problem. It's our problem when our people are tearing up stuff and we have these lazy ass liberal, these politicians that keep making excuses instead of saying, hey man, if you have a kid Go get them. I don't care if the baby mama's a piece of shit. You have a kid. I don't care if they hate you, what they say. It is your job to be in that kid's life. And if every man that has laid his seed in a woman and a baby came out, took his black ass, and even to show, do you realize even as a father, like I know because I do this. I show up to my kid's school, even my presence on campus is huge. My kids will tell you. My daughter Brittany will tell you, she was hugged up in the corner. She just saw me standing way in the cut, and her whole mood changed. Who was that? Drake said, "Niggas see me coming in my mood, they mood change." That's what happens when a father shows up. Think about this right now. You at school, and daddy show up. The whole attitude changes. Not that he's there to whoop some ass, but we know that he could, right? So when we say stop blaming the media, stop blaming Donald Trump, and we say black people, if your father is alive, he needs to be in the life. If the mom is alive, she needs to be in the life. I guarantee you put the fathers back in these kids' lives. Because first of all, if you're 17 and you're out looting and your father is in your life, it's probably not likely if you have a father that you can come home to and you out looting and shit like that. Unless he out there with you too, right? So and I don't know why it's so complicated for a politician, and Barack said it once, and we ate his ass up, black people. Barack said something about a father, and man, we woe his ass out. Lord forbid. Bill Cosby, we need to invest. We need fathers. Doesn't he have a book, Fatherhood? So, and here come the people. Oh, the men, we don't need men, da 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 da. A society without a father is a dead one, and that's what you see with black people.
You know why I think it was hard? And let me read this real quick. Eunice says there are some small grocery stores and corner stores, but they're not black owned. They are trying to get more black owned grocery stores here. Yes, indeed. Yes, Mr. Scott, how are you doing? It says black man's presence means so much. I think it was kind of hard. Hey, Jessica, I think it was kind of hard to hear Obama say those things. Is because it's like where he was in the White House, he had so much more he could do, right? Like when Trayvon was killed, he says, it's scary, and I'm paraphrasing, if I had a son, I'd be afraid for him too. But it's like, at the same time, you enacted the blue alert, which alerted police officers when they were in danger, but you didn't alert like a black alert when black people were in danger from the police. And so to hear Obama say that, and especially, your vice president had a lot to do with why our black community operates the way it did and does. Your vice president at the time, Joe Biden, he says it, the author of every major and minor crime bill. And we also know that crack was dropped into our communities on purpose, and they purposely dilapidated the black household, taking the men out of there. So it's like, for you, Obama, to say, to chastise black men, I'm not saying he shouldn't have, but it's like, there's so much more you could have did, and so much more you could have said. BJ, I'm gonna open up the link in about 5 more minutes. There's so much more you could have done and you could have said. You know what I mean?
Well, no, and that's politics. But the problem is when we require, and all those things you talked about are there, but we need to stop piling them together. Obama could be the worst piece of shit that ever lived, but if he makes a positive statement and there's truth to it, we should take that from it. Everyone knows I'm totally like, if Obama ran today, he would not get my vote just based on him being such a liberal. But the point I'm making, if somebody makes a good point, we should just roll with it. The black community, we have all these other issues. So what? Joe Biden has created the crime bill. We all know that. And Joe Biden is a crook, but he still got 84% of the black vote. Maybe it's higher than that. So you got this slave master that's whooping your ass with the whip, sitting on the podium talking about, I'm the one that created the bill, and you voted for him. It is no longer their fault. If you see a wolf, and he's walking down the street and he's eating the sheep, and you dress your ass up in a sheep costume and lay on the ground and you get ate, it's your fault. But my point being is we just need men to be there. And I know I have 6 kids, and there's a time I was not estranged from my kids, but they got a mama, so you know how that goes. Me and her don't get along. I'm the asshole. He's a deadbeat, all that shit. And you can attest to all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there was a point in time where I was like, well, shit, maybe I am not enough. And then I was like, nigga, shut up. Like, you are enough. And you could even see in my kids' behavior, some of their behavior, when you can see when they don't have my qualities or my skills, you can see where they slipped. Their behavior, the way that they act. As of late, I've spent a lot of time with my 2 youngest kids just getting in their face like they'll dish all day. And I can just see and I'm nothing against their mom. It's just the position she is in. Their attitudes were toward, well, there's not a lot we could do. And I'm like, no bullshit. That is a damn lie.
Why are you trying to get me to monetize all this cussing you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm just, well, that's okay, maybe that's verse 2. But when you, like, I had Morgan and Evan this weekend. We went to UCLA so she can commit. And I was just telling those 2 the story about how my father woke me up and took me to work. I didn't have a choice. And they were like, you didn't have a choice? I was like, no, kids aren't supposed to have a choice, period. When your father says, this is what we're doing today, if it's not killing you or harming you, then it's what you do. Now kids have all these rights and all these things. Kids, you do not have rights until you can leave your house and take care of your family, period. So when we get back, and if your father's not around, grab an uncle, because some of our fathers are dead or whatever. Grab an uncle, somebody. And the black man, I just imagine this. Every black kid at school, we have a Father Day, and every black kid has a dude with them standing on the podium, on the stage, in the playground with a black man standing next to him. Can you imagine the power in that? You see what I'm saying? And I hear people say Obama didn't do anything for black men. I can tell you what Obama did for me. Is he, and I have a sign in my bedroom right now. I'm not an Obamaite. I would not vote for him again, but I have a sign. I have several signs in my room. One of them says, what would Obama do? Let me finish. I have another one that says WWJD, what would the Jews do? I have several signs in my closet. So every time I get dressed, I go with Obama, wear this suit. When I get into my car, I go with Obama, be in this car the way it's presented. Even though I don't agree with him politically, he, in my opinion, made the black man look good. Forget his policies. When you see Obama and you compare him to Trump, Bush, Clinton, when you compare him to all those presidents, he is one of the most outstanding as far as communication and presence of all the presidents. And he's the only president I can think of that didn't have like a scandal. Yeah, he had the Chicago real estate stuff because no one has that. So the point I'm making is Obama gave black men an example of how to present himself regardless of his policies. He gave us an example. When Obama ran, I can tell you how many people compared me to Obama when I was in a suit. Oh, like you remind me of Obama. And that was a compliment. So that's what Obama did. He created an example of leadership, regardless if you like the way he went. It was an example. That's what I mean when I say Obama did something for the black man. He just made us look good. That was my point.
And
you want to add some context to that?
You know I do. I mean, I'm just saying, because like when I hear people say that, oh, Obama, he, showed the world how a black man dressed and all that. And, it's like, it almost makes me want to gag a little bit. And I say that because, Walter, your daddy wear a suit to take the trash out. We got to tell your dad, which is my daddy too, okay? We got to talk him out of wearing a suit to do simple stuff. So your whole life, you see your daddy in suits. You seen your daddy clean shaven. You seen your daddy decently in order and all of that stuff. Plus, being, born in the Nation of Islam, didn't you see brothers running around in suits all day long? Farrakhan is a good example of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So what I hate it. And forgive me, I'm not telling you what to draw inspiration from. But when we give Obama credit for that, it's like you have so many other examples in your life. I mean, hell, we spent some time in church. We saw deacons and our pastor wearing suits and all that. So that's, to me, in the same vein as symbolism, right? Yeah, it's nice to see a black man in front of the whole world. And one thing I will say about the Obamas is it was nice to see black love, right? She loved him. He loved her. And she was a sister. Y'all can do what y'all want to do with that. So they had a, intact black family. That was nice. But we've seen intact black families before. So a point that I'm making is sometimes we get too caught up in the symbolism of things. And I think that was kind of done by design to get them Negroes, another Negro dressed up in a suit so they can focus on that, but not focus on the things that he should be doing. And as Brother Perry said, black men were extremely left off of the Obama administration. In fact, police brutality against black men ticked upwards under Obama. So it's like we going for the Obama in the suit, and he looks good, and he's well spoken, and that's a dumb one too. Oh, he's very articulate, as if black people can't be articulate.
I think you're taking the point. I think you're taking the point too far.
Wait. Let me finish, because that's one thing I love to let people do is finish. Okay. The point that I'm making is sometimes, and you're right, the Democrats, they do a number on black people, but they also do a number on us with the symbolism. And that is very symbolic. That suit that Obama got on didn't do anything for anybody but him, and maybe Michelle got a little bit moist because of it. But the rest of us, we didn't get anything out of it.
Well, we didn't get anything maybe material, but the point I'm making is first of all, you don't have to tell me about wearing suits, because I'm in a suit most of the time anyways, but I'm talking about the world being able to see. Listen, Obama's policies to the left, but the point I'm making is you have this black man who is standing on the world stage representing, regardless of his policies, which I agree with, are not the business. But I'm talking about for a black man to be on the world stage, the leader of the free world, the number one leader in the world, at least on paper. I remember when this dude got elected, people, white, black, Asian, they were in the streets, like dancing in the streets, fireworks. I've never seen a president be elected and the world respond that way. So what I'm saying is the world, it gave black men one more peg or whatever, one more ice in the tray to say, you know what? Here's one more positive for us. Of course, we got a million black men. We had Cosby, Farrakhan, all these people. But it doesn't hurt to have one more. So, and I believe Obama, listen, I'm not a fan of Obama's policies. My sister will tell you, I am not we don't agree policy-wise. But we have to be able to take something from some of this stuff. Otherwise, we keep doing what we're doing. Because I watched this thing on Sunday, and I've seen this before, but okay. At what point, when do we stop tearing up shit? That is an embarrassment to me, being a black man, that we have men flipping over cars, terrorizing people, just driving by in their cars, just innocent victims that happen to drive down the wrong street, got nothing to do with the shit they're mad about, just tearing their shit up, breaking their windows.
But again, see, this is why I get it. We should not be doing that, okay? At all. However, this is why, see, and it's no indictment on you, because if it was Don that was up here, he'd be getting the same business in Black America. I can't wait for him to come on here. That's why it behooves us to do a little bit of studying. We know that black people that are doing that kind of stuff is not just with black people. Hell, let white folks' favorite team win something, they tearing up the whole town, but they get a blip. You hear about it for a couple of hours. But when black people do it, I'm not saying nobody should be doing it. I'm not making excuses for us. It's like, oh, look at those Negroes. Oh, look at those black people. I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, it's embarrassing, but those black people don't represent me. Just like those white people don't represent all white people. But as Dr. Claude Anderson says, since we own less than 3% of the media, of course they're going to negatively portray black people. So we get all emotional. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Oh, look what white people think about us. And it's like, well, us, and I say us, our people looting or are rioting ain't giving white people no bad impression about us that they ain't already had. Hell, they had a bad impression about us when they brought us over here through the Middle Passage that doing back-breaking slavery. So the point that I'm making is, yeah, it's a shame that we're doing it. We should not do it. I think that's because it was a lot of teens out there is what they call it. That's a parental issue more than anything. But don't let the media sell us an idea that it's all black people, just like in San Francisco. You got them talking about all those black people attacking the Asians, which is how they ended up with a crime bill. But it's like black people are still the most brutalized people in the United States, probably all over the world. But since we live in the United States, we're the most brutalized people, but we don't have a specific bill. But that was in part due to the media selling, oh, look at black people attacking Asians. Oh, look at black people, right? But we know it's not just black people. Hell, we less than 6% in California. And what, 13, 14% of the population. So it can't be all black people that's doing all of these crimes. So that's why I said, I get it.
It's not all black people. We do.
But I'm saying the way it's being sold, but the way it's being sold and kind of way you regurgitated it back to me right now is that it's a shame, and it is, but it's not just black people. But we do need to get our house in order.
It ain't just black people. And I said it earlier. I could care less what white people are doing. I don't care what they're doing. Asians, Filipinos. I don't care what they're doing because they got nothing to do with me. I care about what we are doing, period. I could care less. Yeah, of course, when it comes to crime, white people commit more crime. Of course, when it comes to rape and murder, I mean, no one sees a black man show up in a trench coat and duck under the seats. I get it. White people commit most of the crimes. That's not my problem. I don't care about that. What I care about is my people and what we need to do about it. And we got to stop asking the media to give us a positive light. Like, the media ain't gonna never do that. Like, this is
not, but that ain't the point of asking the media to give us a positive light. The point is we need to own and control more of our media. If we own 3%, less than 3% of the media, then we're not going to be able to get our narrative out. So we're not expecting white media, Asian media, Hispanic media to portray us. They're going to portray their own people. But with the media we do have, like with this platform, even though we don't own YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, but what we do have, we need to be, portraying ourselves a little bit more positive, a lot more positive light. And we also need to spend more time teaching instead of delving into the low-hanging fruit. So with the media we have, we need to spin the truth about us. That's just like a lot of times when you're a child and you go to school and you learn Black history, they don't teach you about being kings and queens. They start where? At slavery. But we were so much more than that. So that's got to be on us to teach that so much more. Does it make any sense? So now we're not expecting them to give us a positive light. They're never going to do that because that's how to keep ratings up.
Well, yeah, and every time we get a black man that's in a media position, we tear his ass down. Look at Bill Cosby. He was going after NBC. Look at Kanye West. Kanye West said, I'm going to buy Universal. He was $2 billion away. And we got everybody on the podium calling him and Kyrie the demons. Everybody and their mama coming after Kanye, not just white people, black people, wearing Kanye's ass out, knowing he was right. So we have black people, it's us. Like, I remember even when Kyrie was going through it, and Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley sat their ass up and tore this man apart in front of the massa. So we have black people in powerful positions. But when they get up there and it's their turn to speak, they eat us up. They throw us into the fire. Look at Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King. Like, Jesus Christ. Every black man that is going to be great is going to one day have to go through their check, go through them. Doing whatever they did to R. Kelly. I don't know much about his situation, but Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, the list goes on and on and on. Like Michael Jackson by far was the greatest entertainer to ever live, never been proven to touch a kid, did so much for kids. The dude built the whole theme park for kids from all over the world and flew them in on his own pocket. And what do our black women do when this dude is dead? Do a special and throw this guy under the bus. And Oprah has a network. Oprah is the media. She has power, but when we get that power, we use it against ourselves. So who's going to ever be bigger than Oprah in the media? So we do have media. When we get the power, we just use it in the wrong way.
Yeah, there's so much more that can be said about that. BJ, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. How you guys?
We're doing well. What's on your mind?
You want to see some?
I was just listening to you guys, and it's like, how many people have heard that last week a local school won the national chess championship, and they were African American students?
I haven't heard that.
No one heard of it.
That's the stuff you're talking about.
Our stories do not get told because I think you, Walter, and Demetra was saying before how TikTok and Twitter in China has all positive, innovative, showing their people, their young people, how to, be critical thinkers, how to resolve problems and all this other stuff. What they constantly want us to be is in conflict, fighting amongst each other, and that's the constant narrative. So when you see these great students, they get no shine because they don't want to see us shine. And then, like what's going on in Chicago, the first thing, because everything that happened, especially with Black Lives Matter, is, and all crime is done by those who said it can happen. So my thing is, who is behind the riot and caused the riot? And what was the purpose of the riot? What agenda are they trying to push out there? Because again, you guys have mentioned all these Walmarts are closing in Black communities, which then you sort of need to look at how are the Walmarts doing in the surrounding suburban communities? Because what it may be is that they want a shift in customers. So if we take it out of here, then you're forced to go into these neighborhoods that I want you to spend at, because we have less people coming into these stores because of online. Everything is orchestrated. And then they throw our faces in the front and say, see, because y'all stealing, it's because you're this. It's because of that. Oh, we have to close this down because of that. And then, 5, 10, 15 years later, they got a big industrial plant where the things that we needed used to stand, and they got the land for $5.
Well, yeah, they get the land for $5 because we sell it to them for $5.
No, a lot of it's to do with, again, what you were saying with Obama. The politicians orchestrated.
Well, that's some of that
could be sold for $5.
Some of that's true, but like I spent a week or 2 weeks in the 3rd and the 5th ward in Texas, and I tell you, I saw and I heard this from a sister there that built this awesome Airbnb. Her and her partner built this Airbnb, and she goes, "You know what the problem is, Walter? These are airship properties. Black people own these properties. They've been sitting here for years, decades, and they're sitting there vacant. And the neighborhood is being built around them, and you see them. If you don't believe me, you can drive through Texas to Houston right now, and you see all these homes are empty, and they've been for decades empty. That's not the government saying, okay, we're going to sell your property for $5. That's grandma and grandpa bought that house and left it to you, and you ain't doing shit with it. That is, and there's so many of those houses. I talk to Black people all the time. One of my friends is like, well, I got a house in Mississippi. Oh, it ain't much. I'm like, what do you mean it ain't much? You have land in a house and you're doing zero with it. But when the government comes and gentrifies it, then all of a sudden it's the white man's fault. But you've been sitting on these properties for decades and you ain't even went to visit it. Like, we need to deal with that stuff.
But again, even in that scenario, what we have here, people started buying lots next to houses that were torn down. And they put into the charter, you can get the lot, you can maintain the lot, you can grow some flowers on the lot, but you can't build a house on that lot. So people who say, "Oh, I want to," now, because people start saying, "I want to take that lot and build a house on it." Now, in the suburbs, they could do that. In the city, we couldn't do it. So it's like these things are orchestrated. And you're absolutely right. You got heirs property. Why isn't anything being done to? But then we have people for years and years and years and years who go down to the city, to the housing commission. We have these plans. We want to develop this, and it will get knocked down, time and time and time and time again.
Well, there's probably some truth
and
to
then all of a sudden you got these big developers, you're just giving land, giving all them federal funds been sitting there for decades.
Okay, let me
straight to them.
BJ, let me ask you this. When is the last time you went out, got out of your car, and walked these neighborhoods? Because I live in California, and I jumped on a plane, and I rented a car, and I spent a week. Me and my sister, she was with me sometimes, and I drove these neighborhoods every single day. And I saw Mexicans out there building, and I spoke to real estate agents. They was like, "Walter, you can buy this land right now and you can build on it." And I saw some black people out there building properties. There's nobody stopping you from buying a piece of land and building on it. Matter of fact, Texas, Louisiana, down south, they have some of the easiest building laws. I can buy a piece of land in Texas right now and make a phone call, and they'll email me a permit. It's almost that simple.
Wow.
I live in California, and trying to build a house in California takes 6 months just to get a permit. In Texas, you can buy a piece of land in 6 months. You could have tenants. I know for a fact because I walk the streets of Texas, and I talk to black people, I talk to Mexican people, I talk to everybody, and you can go out there and develop it. The problem is we're not going ourselves to physically put our boots on the ground.
And that's where the problem is.
Yeah, we're hearing the stuff from other people, but like I was told, and I'm still irritated about it, not to go to the 5th Ward and the 3rd Ward because it was too dangerous for a black man to buy property there. So I took my ass to the lake with the whites. And if I'd have went to 5th Ward with my $200,000-$300,000, I could have bought half a block as a down payment.
Yeah.
And that part of the neighborhood be black owned.
Right.
It wasn't the white man saying, "No, hey man, don't come to the 5th Ward." It was black people telling me not to go to the 5th Ward.
Let me address this really quick. Let me address this question really quick. Jump in real quick. A lady says, "I keep hearing Oprah made black men look bad, but when I ask, show me the lies, you say crickets." Well, for one thing, in regard to the Michael Jackson story, she was wrong and dead wrong, and so were those. The producer of it, I forget his name, Dan somebody. It's been proven that they were all lies. There's a lot of recanting. I mean, Wade Robeson was one of the guys that complained, and I forget the other guy's name, but they showed a lot of documentation that in one particular instance, Michael Jackson wasn't even there when one of the boys said he did something to him. So it's been debunked a million times. And in fact, Michael Jackson's estate, as far as I know, they still have a lawsuit going on against HBO for producing a bunch of the lies. And so, yeah, Oprah was complicit in what she tried to do to Michael. Now, mind you, Michael Jackson had been dead, over 10 years when she did that hit piece on him. So, and then her homegirl, Oprah, she's not Oprah, Gail, she's no better. Now, R. Kelly had it coming for a long time. But even when she interviewed Lisa Leslie and then asked her about Kobe's situation, back in the day, like, why bring that up? And the man just died. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Oprah, I wouldn't say she's black male friendly. And Rose, you also made a good point.
Snoop Dogg called her a bitch.
Right. And Rose, you made a good point. You said now she's friendly with 50 Cent and JayZ. But y'all remember when they was on her show and she was talking horrible about rap and rappers? I think JayZ was on that show and they were trying to basically kind of defend rap. And she was kind of talking, really negative. And now, like you said, they homies. So go figure.
Yeah, once your bank account gets to a certain level and you bow down, hey, y'all are all brothers and sisters. And they step on the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we spend so much time tearing down JayZ, I mean, like, geez, I've heard more negative comments about JayZ from people. I mean, like, I hear more positive about 50 Cent than JayZ. Matter of fact, 50 Cent is a hero to the black community. If you ask people, I love 50 Cent. I've met him, great dude. I've heard him speak. But like, if I were to sit my 3-year-old down and let him watch Power and all these shows, he would be a wreck. I wouldn't be able to send him to school after watching that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
it's black exploitation. You know, it hasn't ended.
We're doing it to ourselves. I mean, we are doing it to ourselves. And then, D, I'm going to address your comment. You said people say, oh, he speaks well, or black people speak well, and people say that. And that drives me crazy because people always say that shit to me, and I'm going to punch them in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Because most black people I know speak well. So I really, anyways, it is what it is. And
well, I mean, it's all an agenda, and we keep falling for it. Like you just said, you spoke, you know, you met 50 Cent, and his whole persona is opposite than what they portray every interview you see. His persona is nothing like the characters he put in these shows. My thing is that I don't watch BMF for the simple fact is right before they put that show out, all of a sudden you're getting a buzz that crack is coming back. That whole show is founded on the crack epidemic. So it's like, so now you're watching it, and are you grooming people now to start falling back to these drugs again? I mean, at the same time, since the doctors can't be the pusher man anymore, now you're trying to get them to, you know, you got all these people dying from fentanyl death left and right. Why would we even want to put anything out there like that? I mean, it's one thing to make it a movie, but to constantly let's build and build and build on these characters that this is what a black man, all he wants to do is be a pimp and a thug.
Well, you know, and the other thing is too, that a lot of that is on us because that's what we watch. They know if they made a movie about Marcus Garvey right now, wouldn't nobody go watch it? You know what I mean? So
but that's grooming because back in the 70s we weren't thinking like that.
I hear what you're saying about the grooming, but it's like they can't do nothing to you. Like they're not making you turn that on. Like at some point in time, we as black people got to say, okay, and I'm gonna be honest with you, transparent. I watch BMF. I like BMF. BMF is based on a true story. So you know, but I don't watch it with my child, or my child is 30. But I would not watch it with my small child. I'm a grown up. I know the difference between what you should be doing and what you should not be doing.
Right.
But I mean, they know we ain't gonna watch nothing else. They put a movie out right now about, like I said, Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, or whatever. People ain't gonna go watch it like they would a blockbuster about some drugs or whatever the case is. And so that's kind of on us too. How did Tyler Perry get as wealthy as he did? We made him that way. Don't why folks ain't buying that stuff and watching that stuff like we are. We're doing that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and that's the biggest problem because there is such a disconnect because of what happened during the crack epidemic. Many families, as you were stating earlier, Walter, there was no dad. Then there became no grandma. Then there became no mom. So now the generation that's falling in love with this, they raised themselves the best way they knew how. And all this violence and the money and the fast dollar and all this is what this is cool, this is great, you know, the profanity, acting out, trying to be seen. It's just no respect for no one because no one taught them. And now they're teaching their babies the same behavior. And the system knows this, and that's why it's set up to destroy the black family, because once they got into the churches, they knew it would be an easy hit to get the family. And that's exactly what they did. And they don't shine the lights on the families who are together, the ones who are the black men who are walking the streets, trying to protect the streets, trying to, you know, teach the children, trying to train the children. They don't show no lights on them, and that's probably the majority. They want to constantly show the lights on deviant behavior as if that's the norm, and it's not.
Right. And it's not the norm. But again, I've always said this, and BJ, I'm not saying you're saying it, but I've never allowed anybody else to teach my daughter who she is but me. I never sent her to school for them to give her knowledge of self. Hell, not even church, you know, or even TV. My daughter tell you for a long time we didn't even have a television in our house. We had a CD player. That's what it was back then, or stereo system and all of that. We listened to music, but we didn't even have a TV probably until she was like, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7, because it just wasn't, because we grew up like that. We didn't grow up watching a lot of television.
Right.
Both my parents were cerebral in that they read, they were smart, those type of things. So television wasn't even a big part of our life. I mean, even to this day, I can literally be in this house and not even turn on the TV all day long, unless maybe, okay, it's time for me to go to bed. I might watch some stuff that I watch on YouTube, but I don't have the TV on. It doesn't even become like a thing. Like, I
gotta have it. I gotta see it. I gotta watch it.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And the biggest problem is that was it the 90s or the early 2000s when you had so much violence in our communities, the mothers and the fathers wouldn't let their kids go out. And that was a double-edged sword because, one, they lost their social skills, and two, they were tied to that television for entertainment. And now you're being groomed not only in the school system, but now you're looking at these images every day that's trying to show you what you're supposed to be portrayed as. And to be cool, you need to be this. To get this person, you need to look like this. You need to do this. You need to do, without even thinking about it.
Absolutely. And Brother Travis, how you doing? You say, and I'm reading your comments. You say, number 2, directors and musicians need funding, so they agreed to create garbage. Absolutely. It's and like y'all said at the beginning, it's a business, right? Walmart's a business. They're there to stay in business. While you people like your 50s and all those other people, they're in business. So they're like, all right, well, if that's what they want, I'm going to give it to them, right? Cardi B had said something not too long ago. She says, when I made cleaner music, if you will, people didn't really like that as much. But when she made the raunchy, you know, WAP being one of her biggest songs, she said that's what people like. So that's, like I said, that's kind of on us too. It's like, no, I'm not going to buy that music. If you want me to support you, make something that's a little bit more, you know, on a friendly side, right? But they know we line up in droves to inculcate that kind of content. So like I said, it's kind of on us too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because and then even with the music, it's like if you listen to, you know, again, what was P. Diddy, JayZ, they were sampling all the music from the 70s and the 80s. So we were in love with the beat, and half of us didn't even know what they were saying. But now, you know, we see how the system is ran. It's the like you said, the directors, the studio heads that are pushing this genre at us. And my thing is, if you know what you're being fed, then don't eat it. If you know what's being fed on you and what it's trying to do to destroy you, then you walk away from it. And a lot of us, we don't understand that this is not positive and it's not going to benefit us in the end. And we're just falling into it. And then they, you know, like if people will buy it, people will buy good music. If the music is good, they're going to buy it. Now, the problem becomes is, will these, be honest, Cardi, will these studios promote the stuff? Put the onus on the person who's in control of it. Because we want to say it's us, but it's really not us, because this is the crap that they're pushing. So if you're going to put it out there, expose everybody, and not just, you know, because it becomes, you're always blaming the victim, where the perpetrator walks away hands clean.
I hear what you're saying, but they're the ones that own the means of production, right? So they are not going to stop doing that. They can't produce if there's not a buyer.
Right.
So I'm not saying that it's all our fault, but what I'm saying is we cannot, because see, and I'm not saying you're saying this, BJ, but at some point in time, we got to give ourselves just a little bit more credit, right? Like my daughter, if I, and I always say this, if I had a young child, my child would not have no social media. It would not be doing none of that. And all this other influences that she would not, as much as I can help it. But see, a lot of times too, especially nowadays, parents, they allow their children to do and partake in any and everything. Like I remember being a kid, I'm 52 now, so it was a little while ago. I remember being a kid and I remember having a bedtime. I remember, when certain things came on TV, all right, y'all carry y'all little behinds the bed.
Right. This is adult conversations. See your way out of it.
I remember my mama saying, get out my mouth.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But nowadays, children, they're so involved in things they should not be involved in. It's like we're afraid to tell the children, wait till you grow up. This ain't for you. This is grown folk stuff, right? But the kids, they're like there's no line of demarcation anymore,
right,
between being a child and an adult. So I say all that to say, sometimes we just have to say as parents, enough is enough.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
And Walter tell you the same thing. We got the same parents. There were certain things we could not do, and my parents were unapologetic about it. It was just that way.
No, I mean, and that's where that's the biggest thing that's missing in our community, is that no one wants to be held responsible for nothing. It's the man that left me fault. It's the I ain't got this fault. It's the you blaming everybody and not looking in yourself. And the kids see this and they take on those things. I don't have to be held responsible for anything because my mama say I don't have to. How dare you ask me to? And it's just leading again from the school to prison pipeline. They got so many of our kids on all these drugs, saying you got ADD, HDD, every elemental P, and our kids they're defenseless to fight against the system if the parents don't step up and do something about it.
So you said it. Our kids, our parents, like it's, and this is a circle. We could talk about this forever, but like when you imagine Black people, we are a rat in the wheel. Imagine it's a few rats on the wheel. One of the rats jumps off and says, "Hey, everybody, follow me. Why don't you jump off?" We know what the problem is, but we are the only people that are going to be able to do something about it.
Absolutely.
Like,
but a lot of us don't understand that there's actually a problem, and that's part of the problem.
Well, so then those people we need to condemn. There's some races they will take their week and they will spit them out. Maybe it's time for us to start doing some cleansing of our race. I mean, like we had too many things going against us. So we start we condemn these people. Like, no, that's not right. You can't behave that way. And we get back to this is the money show. We get back to the money. I guarantee you, if you are running a business and working on your money, you don't have time to watch all. I've never seen a show. I've never seen Power. I've never seen any of that stuff. I don't have the time. And I try and sit down and watch TV and I fall asleep. I fall asleep because I'm too tired of making these candles and making these shirts and you know what I'm saying? Doing cars. And now the stock market is starting to get a little bit crazy again. So we got, it's getting a little weird. So this is the time to get in the stock market with the stock options again. So between like those 3 or 4 things and plus eating, hanging out with the kids, wanting to have a little love life, I don't know where you have the time to watch TV. I don't understand how somebody goes to work and comes home at 3, 4 o'clock and go, whew, all right, I'm free. You're not free. Your job is looking for a way. Think about Walmart just closed 4 stores. How many people work at those 4 stores?
Whoa.
Thousands of people are out of a job, not in 6 months, in 5 days. Hey, by the way, next week, we're out.
And you not even look at the other part of it. They're closing 4 stores. Prior to them closing up 4 stores, they already transferred all the people they wanted to keep at Walmart so that they are not missing a paycheck. The ones that they didn't want around. They left at that store until it closed. So now you're out of a job. If you use any of these people as a reference, they're probably going to trash you. And so that's going to mean you're going to take even longer to try to get another paycheck. Okay. By the time the little piddly unemployment is even up. Yeah. You still might not even have work.
And here's my thing about a job. If you guys are out there and you're punching the clock at 9 to 5 and you sitting there thinking you are comfortable and your life is safe, you are fooling yourself.
Yeah.
Facebook Facebook is doing this huge layoff. Facebook, Tesla, Walmart, McDonald's is even laying off. If you have a job and you're going to work and thinking you're going to come home to say one day, like this AI, this chat HBT, and I know I'm saying it wrong or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about, the open AI.
Oh, yeah.
Is replacing to the point where I used to have to hire a model and have her speak. Now AI can create a model speak. I ain't got to hire nobody.
Absolutely. Because I was about to say that.
I can make her tall, short, skinny, whatever. The rope, the and I still don't know how they do it. They could do it. That is a model that I used to go to LA casting, hire, negotiate with her, pay for her transportation, get her to show up to a photo shoot. Now I can go AI and put AI in one of these shirts and look better. The AI don't get tired. It don't have an attitude. It don't be running late. None of that stuff.
So because all they do is take your script, type it into the system, you pick whatever characteristics you want, and then they feed the script like data into the video, and it plays.
And it's about to get worse. So the point I'm making is,
and then they already automated. They gotten rid of cashiers. As soon as they perfect, like the functions like typing and walking and moving in these robots, it's gonna be that's gonna be a huge game changer.
They even replacing the holes. In Canada, they have robot hoe houses. Google it. They have hoe houses.
Not necessary for me.
I'm scared to even ask how that works.
No,
I don't think I want to know.
They call the robot hoe houses. You walk into a brothel and it's robot. Google it. Canadian. Listen. Even the hoes in trouble.
Well, they've been in trouble for a while since OnlyFans. So,
I mean, soon you're gonna have the AI gonna be OnlyFans. Like, don't think OnlyFans ain't sitting here going, okay, I can put this AI chick put her boobies out and get her shaking it on the pole and then create an OnlyFans for her. We'll have the AI do it. I ain't gotta pay her a cut. The robot don't ask for nothing. If you think your job is secure,
no, it's not.
Like, look at that Drake and The Weeknd, that thing they put out over the weekend that got all those views on TikTok. It wasn't even them. It was AI. 100% artificial intelligence put out this hit record on TikTok.
Oh, easy. It's easy. Because once they got your voice cadence, it's all over.
Yeah, and actually, Universal Music Group, they're actually trying to do a lawsuit or something to stop people from doing that, because what they're doing is, let's say, like they're putting Rihanna's voice to another popular song, so they're putting this music out, and they're like, wait a minute, that's infringement to some degree. But I will say this, Andrew Yang, when he was running for president, it was in 2016, it was at this time, he talked about it. He talked about AI is going to further cut into the economics, if you will, the Black community. He says,
but it's going to be all communities.
Well, it's more so us.
But us, we're going to be crippled by it.
What more so us, because we make up a lot of the service industry.
Right.
So that's where he's going with that, because we make up more than the service industry. So as Brother Scott said on here, Bobby Scott, you go into some of these McDonald's, they're fully automated.
Yep.
Walmart, they have 2 or 3 humans working. The rest of them are checkout. Target is the same way.
Yep.
But you're starting to see a lot of the AI taking over. And so what Andrew Yang was proposing was a UBI, universal basic income, which would give you about $1,000 to $2,000. All Americans 18 and over, $1,000 to $2,000 a month. But he also said, you know, black people, and he said it's unreal. He said even truck drivers are in trouble. And there's a lot of black truck drivers. A lot of these trucks are already starting to be automated. So he says it's unrealistic to say, okay, now you guys go out there and learn how to do AI. So he says that universal basic income is going to come in handy, but we also need to learn now, as I think it was Brother Jonell said, as has been said by the Nation of Islam for many years, that this is all going to start to come to fruition, to where black people are going to have to start doing for self.
Yeah.
We're seeing the writing on the wall every day. AI is here. It is not going anywhere. I study AI. So, and I talk about this quite a bit. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and the late Stephen Hawking, they all delve in AI to some degree.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And, Elon Musk was, you know, the wealthiest man in the world until recently. The guy who owns, you know, Louis Vuitton and all that, he's now the wealthiest man. But they all said that we are terrified of AI. Says because it's a matter of time before they call what they call sentient or self-aware, right? And they're already showing signs of being self-aware.
But the other point in that is, if people ain't buying it, how are these?
You don't have a choice. You're not.
No. I mean, if people aren't buying the products, how are the wealthiest of the wealth going to generate their money? Is the robot going to buy the Louis Vuitton bag? That's where the fear from them is coming from, because eventually there won't be a need.
That was the point that I was trying to say, is that they were all saying that they're terrified of AI for a lot of reasons. One, because when they become self-aware, you guys watch the Terminator. When they become self-aware, they will take over. It's just a known fact. So they all said it would behoove humans to learn how to get along with AI, because AI is here. Now, as far as who is going to buy that stuff, we also got to ask ourselves, what are the wealthy doing? Are they getting more? Are they collecting their money now? Also, another thing we got to think of too is, why the hell are they going to the moon? Why are they going to Mars all of a sudden? Are they trying to figure out a way how to live up there away from the rest of us? Like, we got to really start to think about these things. But and someone else, I think it was Common Man, is because humans are greedy and a little bit on the silly side. We are about to price ourselves and a whole lot of things out of existence. It's just a fact. So it's here.
Absolutely. Because greed is insatiable. And because it's insatiable, it's like, do you want these robots to serve me at the store? Tell the robots to buy what you have in the store. I'm out. But it's almost impossible to get around all of it. But it's like, it's to the point of, we have to start making choices. And what you and Walter have been saying, we have to do better, because we are the only ones who are going to save us. And we got to stop being distracted by all this nonsense, because it's just a distraction for us, because everybody else sees through it and they're moving and making plans and making moves. We're sitting up there crippled by, oh, what's going on? Oh, did you see this? Did you see that? Oh, wait, this is going on over here. And it's not resolving any of our real issues.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So, you know, as my dad always says, it's all about knowing. And unfortunately with us, and not just us, a lot of people, we don't know until it's too late, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that the robots was taking over. It's like,
I didn't think it was gonna be that bad.
Right. So it's like you gotta stay in the loop. And that's why I say too, not being plugged in the TV and stuff all the time, it kind of helps you aware, because you gotta be aware, because you gotta read and get your information from somewhere else, right? Like today.
Because if you don't use it, you will lose it. If you don't keep adding things up and depend on these machines, you will not know how to add. You will not know how to write. Can you remember your own telephone number nowadays? Because we don't use our brains and our minds anymore. We're dependent upon a device that has a limited amount of energy, which is a battery or a plug. You're dependent upon a device which becomes obsolete. You're dependent upon a device where these operating systems constantly evolve. So if that device is no longer functional, how are you going to function if you're 100% dependent upon it?
Right. So let's take a step for a leap, no pun intended. Let's take a leap for mankind. What do we do about it? Like right now, everybody's pump your brakes. Let's start from zero. What do we do about it? Because you know what I don't hear us black people talking about in droves is the money and how to get to it. Like I'm watching TV. I was up. I couldn't sleep. Lately, I haven't been able to sleep because Bloomberg is 24 hours. And then CNBC at about 4 a.m. California time, they get going. The market opens at 4:30 pre-market. And then at 6:30 California time, the market is open. So I tend to find myself between 4:30 and 6:30 in the morning watching the stock market news, looking for stocks and options. And, like, should I buy Netflix? Should I, I shorted JP Morgan and got murdered. But like, what should I be doing? Like, do I short First Republic Bank? Do I buy stock options on Credit Suisse? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and Dee, me and you talked about this. I don't know if you checked your Credit Suisse options lately.
I'm just about to look right now. I looked the other day.
They went from like 6 cents to 12 cents. I don't know where they are now. They floating all over the place. And we invested like $100. It's not much. But if once we start doing that stuff, it will be unstoppable. One, two, like telling people, build your credit, all this other stuff. The Obama, Osama, Biden, if you just, black people, just build your credit.
Just build your credit, find ways to save, find ways to invest. I mean, we don't have because
there's
the answers are in our past. Our ancestors had no money, but were able to build businesses. We have to start trusting each other to go to each other for the services that we need. Certain things, of course, we don't have, so we have to go to the bigger places. But the things that you can buy from each other, because that's how you start to build. That's how those people then have excess resources that I could take a risk and maybe help, Ronald, he's thinking about opening up this car wash or whatever, and he's going to do this that's going to serve his community. Because no one else is going to give Ronald a loan to open up that car wash. If Roberta is good with baking and she's really good, her stuff is great, that's what I'm doing. I had to drive several miles to go get it, but I'm going to go to her. Stuff ain't cheap, but hey, I'm going to her to get her stuff from time to time that I don't need any because I'm probably going to become a diabetic, but who cares? I'm still going to get it. So that I can help her to build up her business versus going to the local, Kroger. Everybody could do a little something to support your own community. That doesn't mean you stop buying from everybody else, but we have a higher ladder to climb to just get back to where we were in 1950.
Right. So, so again, and I want to keep the conversation going. And this is just this is just what happens to us. We need to go forward. For us to keep going back in the past, and that's doing zero for us. Like, one thing we need to stop doing is reminiscing. We need to start at zero. Forget the past. Our ancestors, they did their part. They carried us. But like, what can we do right now? This is like, you should. I mean, even
if we, because certain other YouTube channels, and I like them because they do like highlight Black-owned businesses. Even if we just did that, this is the business of the week, this is the business of the month, and just start to funnel our funds and get people to just start supporting that business. Because now we're not like in the 50s where we can only do local. We can now go international and start trying to say, okay, if we do this and we get this, let's start pooling, building. Because see, the problem is that our pockets are low. So we got to get something in those pockets before we can start building on top of that pocket.
Okay,
But
let me
jump in.
let me back up. Let me stop you right there. That's actually not true. And here's one thing, the issues that I have with people in my business. There's no such thing. We don't have to wait to save money. You can save money now. The next time you get $1, 10 cents can go away. Waiting for Black people to do business with Black people, we will be extinct from this planet. We will be dead. The one thing you can do today is you can put $1 in your Black pocket. I don't care if you do business with the Jews, the whites, the Haitians, whatever. You put $1 in your pocket. I hear people saying do Black owned and do business with Black people. How about you start doing business with you? You put money in your pocket, and then we become stronger. There's no one else involved with you putting money away. You put money away, and you go to Credit Strong or Self, and you start Self Inc. and you start building your credit. No one else has to be involved. No Black business. You know, we're talking about the Black businesses starting those. We are light years from having the Black communities do business with each other. And we might as well stop lying about it. Black people are not about to do business with each other and start no business in no community. Black Wall Street is a thing of the past for Black people forevermore. That is never going to happen. And when we get to that point when we believe it and start what the ministers say, do for self, it's like Black people do for self. Like, do we understand what that means? Like, do for self. That means you first, and then your community. But you can't do nothing for the community if you don't have two nickels to rub together, and you can't get two nickels if you don't keep some of them. I guarantee you, everybody on this podcast, take 10% of your income for the next month and just put it somewhere. I don't care if you put it in a cup. It don't matter. Do that, and let's get back in 30 days and see what our attitudes are like. Then all this other stuff starts to fade. I don't get caught up on the news as much because I'm telling you, when I hang up on this, I got to go up and make 100 of these upstairs. I don't have time for all the stuff that's going on in the world, and we shouldn't either. It blows me away that we Black people are so talented, but for whatever reason, we won't, and we keep bitching about the same old things. It's becoming a broken record. Black people, save some money, build your credit, go get you a piece of property, and then let's talk. Until you do that, I don't feel like you have a voice at the table. If I'm being real with myself, if I'm talking to me and my boys, I'm like, own some shit and then come talk to me. Because until you own some shit, you ain't shit. And it's just the way the world works.
Well, let me say this. So yeah, I mean, I agree. Now, anybody ask you about me, I am very pro-Black, and I will die pro-Black. So please don't mistake me in what I'm about to say. You know, like last week when I went to New Orleans for my birthday, my daughter coming here and tell you right now, I was like, yeah, let's go out to eat, but let's try to find some Black-owned restaurants. You wouldn't think it'd be too hard to find in New Orleans, right? Well, we asked two brothers, where is the spot to eat around here? Like, if we had to eat anywhere, where's the spot to eat? They both said, oh, you got to go to the hood. There's a spot. I forget the name of it now. You got to go over there. So my sister and my daughter, we took an Uber over there. And you know, when we got up in there, it was Asian owned. And I'm like,
yeah,
this the hood, and the food was nasty. It was so gross. Only reason why we didn't leave is because the Uber had dropped us off already, but it was so gross. I was mad, right? But I'm like, I asked two brothers, and I would think that they would point us in the direction of a Black-owned establishment. But when we were in Louisiana, I made it a point to shop Black. There was an African sister that was selling clothing, right? And she had some very beautiful pieces. And my daughter liked to dress, and I bought a pair of pants. It was $130 for two pieces. But like I said, they were very beautiful pieces. But I'm like, here's a sister, was like a flea market type of thing. One of a few Black businesses. I was like, well, she's here. She's very nice, very helpful. I'm going to go ahead and buy something from her. But nah, this is the part where I don't want y'all to crucify me. I agree with, not that I agree with Walter is like bad, but I agree with him in that I think the days of Black Wall Street are over because we are too conditioned not to go for that type of thing, right? I mean, we just are. I was having this conversation with my daughter earlier. I said, if it was not for my father, I would leave to Africa. I would just plan to just go move and be in Africa. Where black, I know Africa's going through its thing, but at least they're more on the same page over there, right? Like I could shop a little bit more with black people. And me being in Houston, I was doing some research this morning. Houston said they have the most black people here, if I'm not mistaken, in the United States. There's more black people, and I think Atlanta is, close, if not the same or whatever. But I'm thinking, well, if there's more black people in Texas anywhere, why aren't black people thriving a little bit more? And you have to really deduce it down to it's conditioning. That's all.
Yeah, and we have to change that condition.
Yeah, but as I said too, Asian people don't need to remind themselves, buy Asian today. Make sure you go and spend money with your people. They just do it because they can do it a little bit easier. So to Walter's point, we just start saving some money on our own.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could build, and maybe like start doing stuff for our own people. But at this point, we're just grasping for straws. And I'm gonna say this, but it's not my idea. Marcus Garvey said when he was trying to go back to Africa, there are some people who are some Negroes who are no good here, and they're not going to be any good over there. So we got to leave them behind. But somewhere we've forgotten that ideology. It doesn't mean that we're throwing our people away, but everybody don't want to come on the same page. And I was actually speaking to somebody else, and he's got a great idea. We might even need to think about building our own community here and be like, you can't come. You can't come because your mindset ain't right. You ain't trying to get on the same page. You're not coming in our community with the nonsense and the low-hanging fruit. When you rearrange your understanding, then we'll think about letting you in. See, we need to get to that point, right?
Yeah.
The people who don't want to come along, great. Stay where you are. The people who are like-minded, yes, we go and we build. If we can just do that, then, I think we'll be a little bit better off.
Absolutely, because we have to support one another because no one else is going to support us, and they've proven that.
Yeah, we start supporting ourselves, and what I mean by self, I mean you. One of my favorite shirts on my clothing line, you can go to verbalherb.com and get you one. Dom that gives a shirt off his back shall be naked. Take care of you, period. Sometimes black people, we get caught up in the community and we need black owned. No. What we need is you need to own. The true black own is you own. I can tell you, man, and this shit I want. Like one of my boys, man, he got the sick Mercedes S-Class, the sickest white interior, this, that. He spent 100 something on it. And I'm like, you forever lose the ability to complain about the white man, to complain about you don't own shit. Nigga, you just spent $100,000 on a car.
Leave off the N-word, my dear brother.
I'm sorry, I'm just keeping my what I told him. Use the word you want to use. I'm like, do you know what you're doing? Like, we get so stuck on, I want to floss this. I want to, man. You know what's sexy? Is owning something that you could sell when stuff gets rough. That's it.
See, but the biggest problem is
ain't no problem. We just
it is a problem because we are conditioned, and it took a long time for us to get into this conditioning that we're in. That I need this thing, I need to have these things, and we're forever chasing the next label to get validation until we start conditioning our minds to say, this really don't have that much value. This is nothing but a pair of tires and a steering wheel, really, and it's only getting me from A to B. So what is going to be the most logical thing for me to get that's going to really satisfy me? And then we'll start changing our mindset. Then we'll say, do I really need this? Is this really giving me what I think it?
Well, here's what I'm saying. First of all, I know a lot of black people that save and invest. I do. Matter of fact, I joined, if you go on YouTube or Facebook, there's this brother named Julian. He has this real estate multifamily course. Last night I paid $2,500 to join this guy's course. And I got a buddy pass. If somebody else wants the other half, you give me $1,200. You can have my buddy pass. And this dude is teaching people how to buy commercial real estate. He has a whole course. He's got his stuff together. And he is gearing toward black people. His language is gentrification and this and that. And Don't invest with the property brothers. Invest with the property brother. It's led toward Black people, and I don't normally dive into something that's just racially like one race. But last night I was like, this brother's really teaching. He went down to a danger zone to go get Black people solely and get them to move. Mm-hmm. So he put his wealth to the side and went after Black people solely to get them to buy commercial real estate. So there are a lot of people out there doing it, and I keep hearing the word conditioned. I'm a Black man. I save. I put money away. I build my credit. I am part of the people that have been conditioned. If I could do it, and I know here come people. Well, everybody ain't you. Yes, but you can be. My sister would tell you, I've been broke as heck. You make $1, put 10 cents away. That's it.
Hold on a second. Tracy, you saying that the guy Walter's talking about Julian works with Boyce Watkins? Is that what he's saying?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who he is. I keep seeing him on YouTube, and I watched his course. I spent 3 hours on this brother's podcast. Matter of fact, I can tell you in the last 2 weeks, I joined his podcast, and there's this black couple called the e-commerce family. Between those two, I have spent $4,000 in the last week buying their courses for e-commerce and for commercial real estate. $4,000 out of my pocket. Huh?
They're all Black?
Black, all of them, Black.
You shopping Black?
The e-commerce. It's a brother. He's a little long-winded because Black people, we like to preach for 2 hours before we get to the stuff. But I was like, okay, he's Black. He's dropping knowledge. I'm gonna invest with him. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, if I can do that, we all can do it. And they got payment plans and all kinds of stuff. I don't care. We got people on there. Can you hook a brother up? Oh man, how you gonna charge $1,500 for that? I'm like, ugh.
Well, I mean, and truth be told, if you don't want to pay $1,500 for it, you can do the legwork yourself. Google is free.
And you ain't do it. Knowledge,
but you don't. We like to complain, so you just ignore the naysayers and keep it moving.
So, Black people, listen. Start putting money away, and I'm not saying don't go buy the nice stuff, because we're gonna keep doing that. For us to get away from the foreigns and the Louis and the Gucci, we be lying. You know what I'm saying? But put some money away first. You can do. Hey, girl, what's up, Kathy? If you Like, here's what you could do right now. And if you need help, if you're in California, I can help you do it. If they have these life insurance policies where you can put in $100, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, every month it comes out of your checking account, it happens automatically. You could do that. And you got your money tax-free. If you die, your family ain't on the pole. If you have a stroke, you ain't on the pole. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. And you can put money away in these policies. I know with my AIG policy, money comes out of my account every single month, and I don't think about it. And you could do that. And then you could ball out, but you put money away. Does that make sense? So you don't need permission. You don't need anyone.
No. Absolutely. We a lot of us aren't taught how to save. I mean, that should be one of the main courses in schools, is just budgeting, finances, taxes, all those things. Those kids should not even graduate high school out, understand the fundamental. What is credit? How to get credit? What does credit do? All the facets of credit. Why is credit important? Because a lot of times the first thing you do is you're in college and they just toss you these credit cards and you're like, oh, wow, you're a poor struggling student. Oh, I could go and get this. Oh, let me go to this place and I'm going to that restaurant. Mm-hmm. Not thinking you're actually, for every dollar you spend, you're giving them 30 cents.
Yeah, and that's why too, it's important for us, because you're right, at the colleges. Oops, that's my phone. Sorry about that. At the colleges, they're waiting right there. Hey, how you doing? They hook the children up with these credit cards, and even suicide rate is high amongst college students with a lot of debt because they weren't told, and I'm saying by their parents, listen, this is how you handle money. This is how you handle credit. like my daughter and I, this is another thing we can learn about is minimalism.
Yeah.
Minimalism lifestyle. Like if you learn about it, I won't mute your mic, Walter. If you learn about it, it will change your life. Now, I'm sure
Absolutely.
you know about minimalism, but it's like, to me, it simply explains like this. Do you need more than one pair of black shoes? You know
Yes.
what I mean? Because a lot of times we go out there and there's a saying, there's never enough of more. Oh, well, I got 20 pair of black shoes, but I don't have those pair of black shoes. And so you're spending all your money on stuff you really don't need. And so minimalism asks you, do you really need that? Like today, I went to the outlet with my daughter. We're going to go see Masego on Saturday. We love Masego.
Oh, yes.
We got tickets. So
definitely gonna have a great time.
Oh, yes. We are Masego fanatics. So anyway, she had an outfit that she had from years ago, and we, lost her weight so she could fit it. She's like, I need some shoes. So we went to the outlet. She found a pair of Converse for next to nothing. So I was like, well, let me go see if I need some shoes. And so I went to get some Vans. I love Vans. And I had them. I was like, okay, I'm going to get these. And then the little minimalism angel on this shoulder was like, now you know damn well you don't need no more shoes. First of all, you don't even leave the house like that to be wearing all these shoes.
Yeah.
They was only $19. Now that's a steal for some Vans, but I was like, you know what, you little minimalism angel, you're right.
Yes.
And I walked myself right back over there and I put them on the shelf and I left out the store with $20 more in my pocket.
And you're absolutely right, Demetra, because I had to learn that. It's like I had to start asking myself, is it a want or is it a need? If it's a need, do you need it now or can you wait?
Yeah, and that, and that's and there's nothing wrong with having some of the things that you want, but the things that you want should not supersede the things that you need. My dad says it all the time. People, and a lot of times in our community, we buy what we want and we beg for what we need, right?
Yeah. And then being women, it's like we are compulsive, so we'll go shopping and we'll see that sale and they know they market it to us. Oh, there's a discount on this, and then when you went to the store just to get 3 things, you come out with a basket full of stuff and like, what did I just do? So we have to start finding ways of, like you said, upcycling and reusing what you have. Like how many pairs of black shoes do I really need? I mean, what is functional? What is going to be comfortable? How am I adjusting? Do I really need this? Buy the things that you need, and then maybe once in a while splurge on what you want, because again, and especially if you're a trendy, like to follow the trends will come in and out, and so you're constantly going to be buying stuff, constantly getting things that you probably never wear. If you're that kind of person, maybe I need to put it in, take it to consignment store, so at least I get something back from all these.
This really had a kind like it takes. And Travis, you had me cracking up about your comment. He says 20 years ago I paid $75 for a shirt. I wore it once. I'm still tight about it. See, that's one thing I don't. I mean, I'll buy, like, I like coats, especially in the winter, like trench coats and overcoats. But I go to the consignment store, the thrift shop, and got it. Like I always, for a long time, wanted me a red long winter coat, but I was never gonna pay no $300 for it. Yeah. So I went to this really nice thrift store here in Houston. I think I paid like $15 for it. It is nice. I'll tell you.
Wow.
But yeah, but the thing is, when you're shopping, you're oftentimes, unless you're just good at it, you have to do a lot of self-talk. All right. Do I really need this? Is it a need or is it a want? And as simple as going to the grocery store. A lot of times we go to the grocery store and we're just throwing things in a basket. And then it's like, okay, did I really need that? Or again, it's okay to have some things you want, but we really got to do a lot of self-talking. Do I need it? Why do I need it? Or is it something I just want, right? But until we do that, we're just going to be frivolously spending money. How many times you clean out your refrigerator and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
I wasted that, this, or I wasted that, or I didn't know what was in there because you got so much stuff because you just keep buying and buying and buying. So we have a rule that we look in the refrigerator and we don't buy until we see that, what we have. And Walter's been at my house, he was there recently. You tell you, not a lot of stuff in my refrigerator, because I'm not going to keep stuffing the refrigerator and, stuff is going bad in there. And again, like I said, it wastes money. So you really have a conversation with yourself. Do I need this? Why do you need this? And what else could you be doing with this money?
And then it makes it easier for you to save, like what Walter is trying to, emphasize to us. Like back in the day, they used to always say, pay yourself first. When you get paid, pay yourself first. And you'll start saving. And I know today, because the rents are crazy, the inflation is insane, it's a little harder, but even if it's just $10 a pay, that's $20 a month. That's $240 in a year.
Yeah. So let's put on
just the simplest, smallest denominator. And if you can do double or more,
let's put on our big girl panties. And let's
why they gotta be big?
Well, no. I mean like big boy draws, big girl panties, like grown up. I mean like big like an adult, not like big. Lord have mercy. No, what I'm saying is I hear people saying you can save $1 a day, but you ain't gonna get nowhere saving. I mean, you'll get started. The train ain't moving on $1 a day. Some of us need to be saving $50 a day. Think about this for a second. You tell me you can't, as a human being, take $10 a day and put it, like if you had to go take $10 and turn it into coins and put it in a piggy bank, you tell me you couldn't do that every day? Come on now. You could go out. This morning, I was going to work, buying some cars, and I saw the sister outside. It was like 7-something in the morning, a little chilly, and I noticed she had on some shorts and a sweater. And so I pulled up, was getting gas, and I walked over to her. I was like, hey, what's up? She goes, I got my hats, my T-shirts. It was a sister girl. She's probably about in her 40s. And I was like, that's what's up. Now, I said, it's 7-something. So, and you've been standing. I could tell you posted up. So she got her ass up at 7 in the morning to go sell hats and T-shirts in front of this gas station. She gave me her card. I flipped it over, and she got another business on the other side. And I'm like, man. And she goes, oh, yeah. And that's my boyfriend's number, and you can call him. And we got all kinds of stuff. I said, where's he at? She goes, he's at another liquor store. I said, so both of y'all posted up at the liquor store. Y'all got 2 side hustles. And then she's like, and when we get done with this, we're going to work. I'm like, that she should be on the podium talking to Black people.
You know what's another good side hustle? When I was in New Orleans for my birthday, New Orleans has all these festivals for whatever reason all the time.
The bikes.
The bikes, that is a good hustle, okay? Now, mind you, the whole time for 2 days that we were there, my daughter and I, and my sister, she got there later on that day, but we walked almost 20 miles, right? So by the time the evening came, our feet were hurting. And so we saw the people on the bike, and they'll pedal you wherever you need to go. Said, how much? The first one said $30. Now, mind you, it was a 5-minute bicycle ride for them to take us up the street, but our feet was hurting so bad, right? So makes it $30. And then we wanted to go back to the room, and that was another $25. And it really probably was, I don't know, a 15-minute walk, 5-minute bike ride.
See, Demetra, you should have been walking a little bit better. Then they would have discounted it, because they said, "Oh yeah, we got a live one here. They really hurt."
Oh yeah, our feet was hurting. I'm telling you, we walked all over. What they call it? The French Quarters. We walked all over all day long and all night.
Oh yeah.
The point I'm making is, those people make so much money.
Mm-hmm.
My sister said that because she works at the Jaguar Stadium. Sometimes her side hustle. She said there's a girl who has a bike and she makes sometimes $2,000 a day. Just riding back and forth from the stadium to their car to the parking lot. That's a hustle.
Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
She's in good shape. So you can That's what I'm saying. So when you get off work, there's no idle time. You start working on something else. And if you do that, I'm telling you, even if you don't make a lot of money, your mindset, you will be less likely to blow money.
Yeah.
Because you have to work extra time to earn it.
And
like
you know what the value of that dollar really is.
True story. Yeah. A true story. Girls like, hey, we should go out for drinks. And I was like, no, baby. It took me too long to make this money. And we ain't getting married. We ain't got no future. We ain't buying real estate together. All you getting is a baby oil. And I ain't trying to waste money on that tonight. So when you fight to make money, you're less likely to blow it. And speaking, I'm going to switch gears real quick. Something I wanted to go over. We talked about the pharmacy, Walmart and the pharmacy. You know what happens? If we spend more time at the farmer's market, we won't need to spend as much time at the pharmacy.
True.
This tea, I'm going to tell you, I'm taking this tea. Don't be shocked. There's a white man on the cover.
I need to order some more. It's good, too.
This tea right here, it's called Jason Winter's tea. It's been out since 1977. And I don't have a link with it. I just buy it. I'm trying to hook up my affiliate link. This dude had cancer. They gave him 3 weeks to live. He had a thing on his neck, jaw. 3 weeks. He drank this tea, and the cancer was gone. The dude lived decades. Do you know that all over Asia and all over the world, they have sold hundreds of millions of cans of this? And I just heard about it. So the point I'm making is people take this tea all over the world. If you go to their website or to his YouTube, people all over the world, mostly Asians, saying, oh my God, I had this and it went away. I had this. What it does is it makes your immune system stronger so it can then fight.
Right.
Man, I've been drinking this tea. I have been like around the clock, just own it. And it's not just the tea. I'm taking like 10, 15 supplements. I'm just trying to live. But all the things you can put in your body to fight the toxins.
Yes.
Like that, it's going to make you stronger. And I'm telling you guys, I can tell you this for a fact. If you take care of your health, like I wake up and I do green tea every day. I drink this tea every day. I drink a flora tea every day. I drink water, turmeric, garlic. I ingest all these things, frozen berries. I grow my own. You could do this. You can go to Amazon. You can order your own broccoli sprouts. 5 days they grow, you put them in the freezer, it freezes the nutritional loss, and you can take those. You start throwing that stuff in your body. Like, I'm going to dare you guys, do this. And next week, if you won't, let me know if you did it. Get you a big bowl. Get you some kale, all organic, of course. Cut it up. Throw avocados, some garlic, turmeric, olive oil, blueberries, and throw all that, in a bowl and try and eat and do, you can do about 5 to 10 cups. It's a big bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So I put like Himalayan salt, pepper, turmeric, garlic, cinnamon, nutritional yeast. I have this huge salad that I try and eat every day. And I tell you, man, first of all, everything is working better. And the energy you get from that. And if you eat 5 to 10 cups of vegetables like that, it's hard for you to eat a piece of chicken at night.
True.
Because you go, oh, shoot, you know what? I made that bomb salad. I'm taking these supplements. I'm drinking all this water. I walk 5 miles. I'm not about to ruin it with a piece of fried chicken before.
Well, I mean, but because those vegetables are giving you the nutrients that, unfortunately, all these genetically modified organisms are depleting out of our bodies.
Yeah, and do organic, you guys. I'm telling you, it's a little bit more money to do organic. But think about this: if you eat a blueberry, and they spray pesticide on it to kill the bug, if it's strong enough to kill the bug, and these bugs have adapted over the ages, what do you think is doing to you? And if you're going to eat fruits that aren't organic, do it with things that have covers. Like avocados have a shell, so the pesticides aren't as strong. Oranges, bananas, lemons. I'm saying if you're the type of person that can't justify buying food without pesticides, do it with something that has a shell on it, so you have less likely chance of ingesting the pesticides. These things, I'm telling you guys, if we can start doing these things together, and it's actually cheaper to eat this way because you're less likely. Like if somebody said working at Red Lobster, that's a good side hustle, by the way. I wish I could do that. versus working at Red Lobsters and move versus eating there every day, you will be on the other side of the coin. So if you start eating better, you will feel better. And I'm telling you, like, get you a gym, go to the sauna. When I was in the Netherlands, they're in the sauna every day, 30 minutes to an hour. They sit in the infrared sauna. So I found this Mexican cat. He had a sauna, $1,200. They installed this every day. I hop in the sauna. And ladies, you can lose 3 to 5 pounds sitting in the sauna for an hour. You know what I'm saying? So you just trying to, that one little, you can't get it to reach, get in the sauna for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a Hollywood trick, but it does work. So things like that will help you become mentally stronger. And then you'll be mentally stronger where you can start saving money and you can start seeing the future. So it all comes together. It's a consistent concert of doing all these things at once, and you have to keep doing them. Eat right, save money, be around positive people, take a walk, turn off the crappy TV. It's a constant activity. The only time you take a break is when you sleep. But when you do all these things, your sleep is better and your dreams are better. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So get this tea. It's called Jason Winter's Tea. It is the business, and the reviews. It's to the point where they came to his house and confiscated his list, his products. He had to move to the Bahamas to sell this tea. That's how cold the U.S. government is. So,
I just ordered me some right now. That's what I was doing. Ordering me some. Some
and they
more.
have a special. I mean, they got colon cleanse. You know what I'm saying? They got like elderberry gummies. They got superfood gummies. I mean, they make it real simple. Like, you work on your health, and while you at it, go to lyt.one and get you some of these nice candles that I made. I need the money.
I'm gonna be there in May, and you gonna give me some.
Yeah, I got a selection of candles I'm giving away, but these right here, I'm selling. I have the 14 ounce. Where is it at? Lord have mercy. Well, I got the 14 ounces. They come in these. We make these upstairs, me and Natalie, and these are going on the website because it's the bigger candles. So they're $25, and then the smaller ones are like $19. We're doing these cheap for right now. They're going to be $30. But you guys, you can start a candle business yourself. It's so easy to make these. I bought these from China. They ship them to my house. Matter of fact, if you look next to my wine cellar, all those boxes are candle jars that I get to fill up when I'm done with this podcast with wax. And then we're going to hit the streets and sell them. Farmers markets, you can do a booth in the mall. You have thousands of people walking by all the time. You sit up, I'm going to put me a real cute little girl in a kiosk and have her sell these candles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do that, and you could start this business for $200. You can do this tonight. You can go to Candle Science. You can go to, there's this chick, Memory Box Candle, this girl, Erica. Like, they'll teach you everything you need to know. For me, as a man, selling candles is not the business. But I was like, you know what? If I can sell, it cost me $5 to get this candle in the box this way. This is a $30 candle. That gives me $25 in my pocket. I pay for shipping. So, you know what I'm saying? I keep $18. At $100 a day, that's $1,800 a day. It's not like, if you want to be in a position where you're making $300,000-$400,000 a year, you just sell 100 or something that you make 10, 15, $18 on. It's not even that complicated. The white man, I didn't get permission from him. He didn't show up and say, hey, Negro, you need to ask us first. I took my black ass to candlescience.com and I went to Alibaba and I dealt with the Chinese. Lord have mercy, good luck talking to them. But I had to damn near learn like English Chinese to deal with them. And it made me want to kill myself. But I have a finished product dealing with the Chinese. And I have a candle here that I can now sell, walk the street and sell this candle for $25 to my neighbors. So black people, we have the ability to do that. And we are the best at that. It takes away all the excuses.
Yep. Brother Don, what's going on with you?
Wow. Well, it's all about money. It's all about money and health. It's all about money and health. So I'm with the young lady. She was making some, really good suggestions, and it's actually what I'm doing. Being in a group of like-minded people based on our life choices and beliefs. And so we've got people on the ground right now on the continent, and they're in a country that is the 5th fastest growing economy on the continent. And I'm finishing my passport renewal. Got to talk to them today because it's been a heck trying to get my passport renewed. But I see the writing on the wall. 85 countries have decided that they would no longer use the American reserve note as their reserve or working currency or exchange
BRICS.
currency. Well, not just BRICS. I mean, it's like all of the people that are coming with them and making other deals amongst themselves and how their currency is going to work, and basically moving the petrodollar out of the way. Even the Saudis are now going to be dealing in their own currency, or or the ruby or the yuan. And so what is happening is the bond of the United States becomes more of a junk status because it does not have value. The thing that was backing its value was the petro industry. Instead of our currency used to be backed by gold. That's what ensured our currency. But no,
that was
no longer. Since
that was
Nixon
that was Nixon. Nixon killed that in the 70s.
And they killed us another way when they made China, when they gave them the favorite nations trading status. And we're seeing a regeneration of what was done with the manufacturing when they offshored the manufacturing. They're now beginning to offshore the service industry. That's why you're seeing these layoffs at these tech companies and so forth, because they're moving the jobs overseas. And what's really going on is this: if we really want to tell the truth about things, they're letting this country go.
Well, who is they?
The country's falling apart. The people that really have an interest in closing the books here.
Well, okay, so there's some truth to that.
But I mean, you'd have to go really deep. There's still a debt that's owed. See, we're seeing a lot of money get washed right now. You want to talk about RICO? You see the trillions of dollars that have been filtered out of this country by our government.
No, there's a lot of it, but I guess what's that got to do with us, though? And here's what I mean. I want to kind of join in on this a little bit.
What's that got to do with us?
The value
of the dollar.
Well, no, I understand that, but I'm saying the U.S. dollar, and I've been following this. First of all, the U.S. dollar is huge. Yeah, people are nipping away at it, but it's going to take them light years to take the dollar, because even though people are trying, the Chinese dollar is too unstable. So these guys are trying to come together, but like the Russian ruble is not stable. The Chinese dollar fluctuates too much. The U.S. dollar is still the strongest dollar. Now, sooner or later, that's not going to be the case. But what you can do is save as many U.S. dollars as you can, because even like, for instance, I'll tell you, if you go to Argentina, their dollar is destroyed. But as an Argentinian buying from an Argentinian, your dollar is still the same. And that's what we want to keep, because I hear a lot of the stuff on TV.
What does their inflation look like? What does their inflation look like?
It's destroyed over there. It's a wrap. But their dollar.
What do you think?
Their dollar, they can still spend with each other. Believe me, kid, I understand inflation, how it works. But the point I'm making is you still need to be saving as many dollars as you can, because even right now, even though U.S. dollars in the news, it's still the strongest currency in the world. Now, if they don't raise the debt, if they don't fix the debt ceiling, that could change. But
how do you pay back $30 trillion?
You don't. You never do. So what you do as an individual is you save as many of those dollars as you can. I tell you right now, Black people, this is how we do it. Like, and I get it. It's good to be educated in what's going on around the world, but we need to come into our own house and educate us. I'm telling you.
Okay, so
that
let
is
me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the Great Reset and Fed now?
I like it. I like the reset. I love chaos. I hope the economy collapses tomorrow, because that is when the ballers get going. If the real estate market took a shit today and I woke up in the morning and they were like, real estate prices are crashing, I would be dancing in the street, because then I could go out and buy more. Same with like,
you realize
that
you realize that the dollar is tied to the economy.
No, I know that. But what I'm saying
crashes, is you won't be able to buy crap because your dollar won't be worth anything.
I'm not saying the dollar crash. I'm talking about the economy. Like when
the dollar's going to crash with it.
Well, so let me back up. In 2008, March of 2009, the real estate market, the stock market, everything was in free fall. In March of 2009, the economy hit the floor, and then it rebounded. In March of 2009, you could have bought a house for $100,000 that today is worth $500,000. I know
if
for
you
a
had
fact,
that money, but if you probably lost your job because you're black, you probably were one of the ones who lost your job. You probably had your property repossessed, because we're the ones that lose our stuff first. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it had nothing to do with me being black. I can tell you, I have a lot of white friends who lost money, a lot of Mexican.
No. They will do stuff to harm them too. Trust me. They if it is enriching their pockets, because
let me hold on a second.
Shift in wealth.
Let me reel this back a little bit. Because I see some people in the comment, I'm assuming y'all saying Walter doesn't know what he's talking about. As I said at the top of the hour, Walter has over 30 years financial experience. Walter is, in my opinion, a lot of other people's opinion, a guru. So to say he don't know what he's talking about, you might not like what he's talking about, but he knows what he's talking about. And so, yes, whenever the economy does crash, it's because, like you said, inflation or what, a whole lot of, let me meet you, Mike, Walter, a lot of things that are going on, but try to take that worth, regardless of where you go, we're saying the dollar is worthless, then why is everybody asking for it still if it's worthless? How are you paying your mortgage? Are you paying it with gold bars? Are you paying it with the ruble or whatever it is? You're paying your money, especially if you live here, with dollars. So is it worth what it used to be? No, it is not worth what it used to be. But at the end of the day, we talking about how to get more dollars. We ain't talking about how to get more whatever, currency everywhere else. We're talking about how to get more dollars. And that's what it is at this moment. But in the meantime, we're trying to figure out, like I said, how to make some more money.
The dollar is strong. And let me tell you, I can tell you this. I bought this Louis Vuitton wallet in Paris. The dollar was at $1.30 to the euro. So this wallet is normally $400 in the US. I paid $250 for this wallet. Went to the airport. They gave me a credit, a tax rebate at the airport for this wallet. Not to mention the exchange for currency in the tax rebate I got this wallet for half price. That is because the US dollar, even with all the turmoil, is still the strongest currency in the world. You can go to Europe right now. You go to the Philippines or Colombia. I took the US dollar to Colombia. Man, me and my girlfriend ate for like $10 with wine and food. We went to a cigar lounge. It was like, it's insane. So yeah, the US dollar is under attack, but that still doesn't stop you from building wealth. And even if our dollar crashed, you still need the dollar to survive. And here's the other thing I want to say about inflation that most people miss. Because see, this is middle class stuff. They get talking about it. Oh, inflation, food costs, and everything is up. First of all, without inflation, the house you bought for $400,000 isn't worth $600,000, or you bought for $100,000 isn't worth $300,000. The car or whatever that the business that you own, inflation appreciates things, so they're worth more to you. Why do you think you can buy a Walmart stock 10 years ago and sell it for more now? That is inflation. The problem with inflation is poor people, middle class people don't get in front of it. Instead of being the person that's selling the inflated product, they are trying to consume the inflated product. You understand what I'm saying? Like this candle, I know cost me last year, 2 years ago, it would have been cheaper to buy the materials. All I do is raise the price to deal with inflation. So whoever buys this candle from me is paying an inflated price from me. So wouldn't it make sense, in the words of Bugs Bunny, if you can't beat them, join them, is to get in front of inflation. There is a solution for everything that's in the media. Black people, we just have to stop buying into the narrative that we don't have power. We have power. And I don't care what people say. I know Black people that are making moves all day. I was on a podcast last night where 40 people spent $2,500 on a real estate course. All Black people.
And if you are, and I also think too, and M. Flournoy, I hope I said that wrong. I probably didn't, but and hello, by the way. Y'all think that we are broke and we don't have any money? I impress upon you to go to the mall this Saturday.
Go to the gallery in Houston.
And see who's in there spending money, and then say, we don't have any money. But I want to address this. She says, and some of us know babble when we hear it. There is an inherent problem with capitalism. I'm about success for all of us, not one of us. Okay, Walter, what did Mother Teresa say?
Let me have this comment. And Florida, I'm gonna try and meet you in the middle. Capitalism, without capitalism, we're not on this podcast. Without capitalism, we don't have the ability to make money. You realize socialism says a doctor makes this much. The guy that's sweeping the floor makes this much. Socialism is a dictatorship where everybody is the same. And it's where this country is headed. Capitalism allows me to start my own business. Oh, shit, excuse me. To start my own business. That is capitalism, period. And it's not one of us. Black people, we spend so much money. And Black people, we make money too. I was in the Post Oak Hotel in Houston. The Post Oak Hotel is probably Houston's nicest hotel. Rolls-Royce has a building connected to the Post Oak Hotel. That Mastro Steakhouse, when you look out the window at the steakhouse, you see the Post Oak Hotel. Like if you pull up in a Mercedes at the Post Oak, they're going to put your stuff in the back and make room for the Ferraris and the Bentleys. When you walk into the Post Oak, it is 50% Black people, period. When I took one of my friends, she took me out. She goes, you want to go have drinks? I was like, yeah. You know, a sister girl too. You know, she took me to the Post Oak. Black people everywhere. We do have money. The problem is we don't save it, and we keep getting tied up in these world economics and Africa we got to go to Africa. No, we need to go to our doorstep and we take care of our stuff, because Africa don't need our help. We going to Africa to have a better life. My sister went to Africa, and I know if she didn't have kids, she'd probably still be there. They don't need our help. Africans, we need their help, truth be told.
So before I fell off, because I didn't realize I was still on my mobile hotspot, when I'm at home and I got all this Wi-Fi here. First off, I want to say this, that what you witnessed between me and Walter, that was intellectual sparring from two individuals that know their areas of discipline, that can have an intellectual conversation as brothers without insulting one another, being petty, argumentative, and disrespecting one another. We don't have to listen. This is how men behave. And where you may get a little excited and people might take that the wrong way, it's still about how it's delivered. Now, I don't agree with what Walter said, you know, in totality about capitalism. My whole beliefs about capitalism is this: capitalism always requires slavery. This system of capitalism would not run without the system of slavery that most people are ignorant to, which is inherently built into the 13th Amendment. That is why most of your prisons in the United States contain us of melanated lineage, because I'm done. I am neither American nor am I African. I am not black. Okay, black is a color. I have a heritage and a culture and a language and a land that was all stolen from me. They want my history to. They want me to believe that my history began at slavery. It didn't. I know what my history is from the beginning.
But what do we do about it right now, though? I believe everything. I agree with everything you're saying.
I'm watching what from my people's history and my people's understanding. I'm watching what was said to happen. I'm watching it live stream falling in front of me. I'm watching a country fall at its knees and being left by it to fend for itself by all these other countries. Well, it and its colonies to fend for itself, while the other countries say, you know, we're done with your tyranny.
I mean,
So,
the United States is
that's
the
what I
strongest country in the world. The United States is not only the strongest country in the world, it is. I'm telling you, I've been to 50 countries. I can tell you, United States, with all of its problems, I remember, like when I went to the
That's
Middle
an
East.
opinion, though.
But
That's an
what I'm
opinion.
saying is, well, for me, it's not an opinion; it's experience. I've been to South America. I've been to the Middle East. I've been to Europe. I've been to Asia, and I know they are breaking their neck to get
But
here.
your opinion is based on your experiences. It still makes it your opinion.
Well, the point I'm making is, like, for instance, when I went to the
Unless
Philippines,
you run receipts. Run receipts.
when I
Well,
went
let
to
me
the
ask you
Philippines,
this, Walter. When you went, wherever country you went to, would they rather had you pay them in their money or American money?
dollars. The minute I bought something, they were like, "We want dollars,
Same
dollars,"
here, everywhere I've gone.
But how is
Dollars.
that today?
and they
But
want
how
the.
is that today? But
Well,
how is
no,
that
it's the
today?
same.
And the other thing is this. Let's
I go
run.
out the country. Wait,
Run
hold on. We got to be on the
economic
listen.
projections.
Hold on. I go out the country once a year and about to go again in August, and everywhere I've gone, they have wanted dollars opposed to their stuff. So when we say, "Oh, that's your opinion, that's your experience," I'm one of those people. I tend to go off of people's experiences, other than people who do just have opinions. And I'm telling you from my experience, and I haven't been out of the country as much as Walter goes a couple of times a year. I haven't been as much as he has, but I'm telling you, everywhere I've gone, they would rather have had that dollar. So listen, I think we're kind of arguing two things. We're not saying that the dollar is not losing its value. We're not saying that it's going to remain to be the almighty dollar, but we're saying right now it is. And so while it is, we are trying to figure out how to get more of the dollars. And to Thunder's question, he says, when the economy crashes again, what are some good moves to make before and after it happens? Well, we know, and this is like above my head. We know that when the economy crashes, that means there are a lot of things on sale. Like Walter said, and I think Arneva said the same thing. When the 2008 economy crashed, he was like, oh, should I buy a fourplex or a duplex? Why? Because things are on sale. And the problem with us and a lot of other people is when the economy crashes and things are on sale, we are not in a position to
take advantage of it.
It's just a fact. So when we go to these neighborhoods and we see gentrification, Mexicans ain't sitting around talking about, well, the dollar ain't worth this and the dollar ain't worth that in the new world order. They talking about, hey, Paco, I like this house. We got a construction crew. Let's go over there, bulldoze it, and we're going to make something out of it. We're going to put our people in there, and we're going to do it again 5 times over on this street alone. So the problem that I'm having, and Don, I love you, you know I do, but sometimes we get a little distracted with all the other stuff. But the problem with us is, and Dr. Francis Cresswell Welsing said it, Neely Fuller Jr., Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, all of them have said, we as Black people spend too much time pounding our chest, trying to be over intellectual instead of just putting boots to the ground and making moves. until that dollar crash, we should be trying to figure out how to get more of them. Period.
Okay,
I'm not
so
trying to figure out, wait. I'm not trying to figure out how to get more pesos or more rubles or any of that stuff. I'm trying to figure out how to get more dollars. That's me.
So this
Well,
is
guys, it
I
was
don't know,
fun. Thank you for having me, but I have to sign out. You guys
Yeah, we
take
about
care.
to get out of here too in a minute. Thank you, Jay.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was even there.
It was a wonderful conversation. Bye.
Yeah. All right, Brother Don, what you got to say?
So I don't know if you watch African diaspora news, but there was this one African president country said, if y'all hang on to your dollars, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. So that is I have a global view. My thing is this. I neutralize my position in the dollar except for operating capital. And I neutralized it by taking a position of hedging gold and physical gold, not putting it into the market because the market's going to crash too. But what I'm going to do is then take that gold, put that gold to work in investments outside of the United States that I already know that are growing.
No, that's good.
And also, and get a better life because here's the deal. You got to think about the air quality, the water quality, the soil quality, and then also the providers of those who are making these seeds. I pay attention to what's going on because I understand what their plan is and what they're doing and the moves they're making.
Well,
I understand about 15-minute cities. Do you know about 15-minute cities?
No.
Do you know there's one near you?
There probably is, but I'm too busy trying to collect these $15, and that's the point I'm making.
You're distracted. You're distracted.
Distraction. There's so many things we could be distracted from. There's a million things I could get wrapped up in, but I know the one thing that's put me in a position to deal with those things is saving money. And if one of those 15-minute cities pops up and there's an investment opportunity and I can use it to save me and my family, I'll put some money in it. Listen, I hear people say this, and I want to push back on this capitalism and slavery thing. Capitalism is the reason why most people have a job. Capitalism is the reason why I can go out and run my own business. You cannot do that like that in Russia, in Argentina, in Colombia. You cannot do that.
What was the West built on?
Okay, but we're not.
Capitalism,
that wasn't capitalism.
Right? What was the engine? What was the engine of capitalism?
Slavery. Okay, but let's back up.
Free labor.
The United States
component of capitalism, right?
The United States was built on colonialism and slavery. Capitalism had nothing to do with that. Capitalism is part of what they use.
I'm sorry. They were buying and selling products to make this country rich. That's capitalism.
I mean, capitalism is the reason why my family is secure. The reason why my family we can get together.
You're coming to an end to justify your position, and that.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Let me show you. Let me show y'all my title. Master debater. Okay, so anybody know about debate is me. Now I know about capitalism. I have studied capitalism, right? Capitalism is not going to go anywhere, whether we mad about it or not. And yes, slavery, capitalism was built large in part by slavery. Nobody is going to debate that. But the problem with capitalism is a lot of us don't see capitalism. As it was said in the Communist Manifesto, we are distracted by racism, politics, and everything else you can think of. And while we're distracted talking about that stuff, the ones that own the means of production, the bourgeoisie, I ain't talking about your bougie cousin. I'm talking about the real bourgeoisie class. They're the ones that's making all the money hand over fist while we are sitting up here complaining about politics and racism. Not that stuff is not important, but those are the real distractions. And so we can be mad about capitalism all day long. And guess what? Black people still gonna be at the bottom of the totem pole because we are distracted talking about what this, what that, instead of going and getting the goddamn money. Don't nothing move without the money. I don't care where you are. If you do not have it, ain't nothing moving. And all you're gonna have is a conversation about capitalism and the rich people and that people. Because I too was like that, thinking, oh gosh, the people with the money, they're horrible people. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are horrible with money, but it's also horrible not to have money. And as I talk about all the time, Reverend Ike said, the love of money is not the root of all evil. The lack of money is the root of all evil. And so that's what we do on this show. We talk about how to get to the money. We don't talk about as much the problems of the capitalism stuff. Listen, I'm well abreast about capitalism and all that other stuff, but none of that matters if I can't come in my house to turn on the goddamn lights because I ain't got no money to pay the bill. That's what we're talking about. So we can argue all day long semantics and red herrings and straw men and all that other stuff, but how do we get more money? That's the question.
Yeah, and these liberals, the only reason these liberals have money is from capitalism. When AOC, like for instance, when you take the Senate, the Congress, even take the mayor of Chicago, do you realize it is capitalism that is paying his salary, paying for the mayor's mansion, paying for his vehicle, paying for their entourage, paying the Secretary of State, that their vehicles run 24 hours a day in case they need to roll out. Do you know who pays for all that shit? Taxes from capitalism. Take that out the picture. They don't have a salary because you can't tax the people without capitalism. And that's all I'm trying to say. Yeah, this country is built.
Let me say this. The state of Arizona said that without their prison labor, that state would go broke.
It probably would.
And what is prison labor under the 13th Amendment but slavery?
But what's that got to do with
they capitalize off that prison labor. It's sold to the market. This is historic.
I believe you. I believe
you. The thing is this, okay? The thing about it is this. So now what would we do in the meantime? My whole thing is this. I don't get on for some type of, mental masturbation in economic discussions. I don't do that.
Well, I don't masturbate either. I like to
educate my people on what I know. And it's like, well, this is another perspective because not everything is for everybody. You might like candles. I might like water systems.
Right, but Don,
we both like apparel. But what I'm saying is there's different ways to get to the hustle.
I don't like candles. I like the money that comes from them.
Period.
That's all.
But that's something you're interested in.
No, okay, but wait a minute. Hold on.
There's a million ways to make money.
Okay, but wait a minute. Wait, let me say this. And I said I was going to start doing this more, and Don, I love you. But what I'm going to start doing is we're not going to start hijacking the money show with stuff like this. And we said this a million times, Don, and I know you know that like my mom used to always say, find what you're good at and get people to pay you for. So you may not need to sell candles, but find out what you are good at. Just do something. Whatever it is, if you can put two pieces of bread together, go knock on some doors and say, I got two pieces of bread. It's a numbers game. Somebody gonna do it. But we got to get out of the habit of hijacking the money show because don't nobody feel sorry for Negroes. They don't. Now, we got to learn how to get to the money. Now, Brother Don, I'm going to ask you, do you have a solution for people who are on here who want to learn how to get to the money, how to get to the money? We know all the stuff about the system and slavery, the 13th Amendment. We know that we as Black people make up the largest population of prisons. We know that. But until we learn how to keep more than 3% of our annual income as Black people with Black people, we're going to continue to fill the systems. That's a fact. But without the money, there is no power. And as Black people, we give our power away every day, every single day. So we can't be mad. We can be mad at the system, but how are we just mad at the system, but we're not mad at our people who keep walking into the slaughter, knowing that you're walking to slaughter? At some point in time, we got to say, as they said in the nation and so many years ago, Marcus Garvey said, up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. It's that, I mean, I don't want to say it's that simple, but we got to stop hijacking the money show with, the esoteric and this, we know all of that is going on, but it's still not a reason not to go after the money. And hold on a second. I see some you basically keep saying that we're not listening. We don't know what we're talking about. Oh, we know what we're talking about. And you also said too, I'm concerned about the all of us, not just one of us. But how about we get concerned? Because I can't be concerned about you until my household is in order. Mother Teresa said the best way not to become to help the poor is not to become one of them. So while you're concerned with everybody else, are you concerned with your household? Does everybody and I'm not saying this about you specifically, but does everybody in your household know how to get to the money? Or are you out there like a lot of Negroes, especially on the internet, tying on the cape, flying out there and trying to save everybody else, but you ain't saved everybody you know. So I get it. When I help me, I can help my daughter, and together we can go help somebody else. And I don't tell everything I do, but I help people all the time. It just ain't nobody's business how I go about helping people, because philanthropy is supposed to be between you and the people you're helping. But the point that I'm making is help yourself first. When you're on an airplane, this is an old analogy. They don't say, well, put on everybody else's life raft. They say, put yours on first, and then you put somebody else's on. So again, I really do love and appreciate everybody, but this is the money show. We're not going to get in the habit of hijacking the narrative, because there's a lot of people on here that have a testimony that says that they have learned how to make their life better financially by the advice that Walter has given. So Don, like I said, I love you, but we got to stop making excuses and bringing in things to hijack the conversation. Because I know a lot of people on here want, like Thunder, he's asked the question. He says, what do we do in a downturn? And he missed it, probably because there's a lot going on. But when the stock market is down, that means stuff is on sale. If you have money, get in a position to buy those things. The same thing with real estate. If real estate is tanking, foreclosure stuff, and all that is everywhere, get in the position to buy the real estate. You cannot get in a position to buy stuff if you don't have money. So, you talking about, I got to save everybody else. Yes, you do. But get in a position so you can go buy back the block, and then you can save a Black family who needs a place to stay. But all this, like, I love Utopia, and whenever they find it, I want to take my Black ass to Utopia. But until then, we got to build for ourselves, and then we can help everybody else. That's just really how it works. So we got to start. And if you also said we got to learn how to communicate. I don't talk about it, but I got a degree in communication, so I know how to communicate. But the problem is we think we're not communicating when we're not just getting our point across. Communication is a sender, a message, and a receiver. That's how it works. But somehow we're not receiving the message that's being sent. We got to be able to hear all points of view. So I hear Brother Don, but again, this is a money show. And if you're not interested in learning how to make money, then Wednesday ain't the day for you. But I'm going to tell you this, Walter is my brother. That's neither here or there, but I know for a fact Walter get paid a lot of money to give the advice that he's given us for free. Walter does not make one dime to do this show, not one dime. But yet he's giving us the advice for free, and we sit up here, and I'm saying we collectively, and we want to argue with him about how to make money. It's the weirdest thing to me. But other races of people, when knowledge is going forth, especially about making money, they don't sit up and try to say, well, this ain't how you do it, this, that. They're like, all right, for real, let me take notes. So we got to get in the habit of doing that. I mean, I know I want to make some more money. I don't have all the money I want in my life. I like to travel. I can't travel without figuring out how to create more sources of income. I mean, I don't even really know what else to say.
So let me just chime in, because I'm gonna address M too.
Well, let's do this real quick, you guys.
You didn't hear me, because I was talking about action when I said about Walter you made like candles. What I put in front of that, I said, I like water systems. That's one of my businesses. Okay. So I am talking about activity, money, capitalism, all that does have a psychology. And we should be apprised of how that is so that we can move wisely within that system. That's the only thing that I'm talking about, awareness. But if you don't get off listen, you can't make money and I'm trying to remember the adage. You can't make money and make excuses at the same time. I've got a couple different, and I said, Walter and I both like apparel. So we both have apparel companies. The thing about it is we're doing something about our wealth. Now, where we choose to put that money to work, is a different story based on where our worldview is. Okay? But it's all about getting the money, increasing your wealth by putting that wealth to work. Like Kevin O'Leary says, I send my dollars off to summer camp and I expect them to come back home with friends.
Right. So I get what you're saying, Brother Don, but I'm saying we like Walter really could have been giving us strategies on how to make money. We know all that. And yes, you said, like you said, you got the water system. That is a way, because we need water. I would learn a lot. I'd be interested in learning more about how it is that you're making money from the water systems. But unfortunately, we get too distracted with talking about everything else. And, you know, as it's one of my favorite saying is, all right, along with getting angry, you have to take action. Otherwise, you're just angry. And I'm not saying this about you. I'm just saying in general. What happens is, us as a people, we get so wrapped up into, and yes, we are victims. I'm not saying we're not, but we get too wrapped up into victimhood to where we don't make any moves. And we got to stop doing that. We really do.
Like I said, you can make excuses or you can make money, but you can't do both at the same time. Now, to M's thing, no, you can't take everybody with you. Do you know how long I've been trying to get young people involved in this whole water industry? And there ain't no takers. It's like a lot of folks get fascinated with, honestly, goals that they're going to have a difficult time to reaching. And that's usually in high tech, because there's so much hype, there's so much hype and there's so much glamourism given to high tech, and you becoming a billionaire overnight because you invented this or that or the other, or you getting into a company and getting a 6-figure job, which you probably won't get anyway. You'll probably get like a high 5-figure job. If you were even able to get in, because a lot of people that look like me, a lot of people that look like Walter, don't get into those jobs.
Okay, you guys listen.
Deal right now should not be striving to get a job.
Right.
Here's the deal: is to be striving to get independent.
We need to take race out of the conversation. Listen, you guys, my thing is save as much money as you can and build your credit. Period. Do 1 and 2. I don't care if you do technology, if you sell tea on the corner, it don't matter. Save your money, build your credit, because when the economy takes a shit and you have dollars, pesos, ruble, and you have good credit, you can go and buy that house that's down for a lower price because you got good credit and a little money. Because you and your homeboy are doing it together, you can pool your money together. That is it. I don't care what you sell, what you do. Stack your money, build your credit. If we ain't talking about that, we are wasting our time with all these distractions. I'm telling you guys, you say what you want about me, but I don't mind getting my hands dirty. And I've been to countries and I know what it's like in Colombia. They're wanting to swim their ass over here to be in this country. In Philippines, to the point where they come over here and become nurses, CNAs, and wipe ass in a clinic for 10 years to save up enough money to get their family over here in this country that we take advantage of. Yeah, America's got its problems, but try starting a business in Afghanistan, Colombia, the Philippines. And I saw the thing about the dude from Africa, wherever he was. But Africa, that dude, what they won't tell you is the Chinese are in there so deep, taking the resources and all that shit out of that country. So when I hear an African president talking about the US dollar, when they are being controlled and China is in there so deep, they are China's mouthpiece. So sometimes you have to say, you know what? Because everybody sent me that video of the Kenyan or the president laughing about the US dollar. They can't even control. Listen, some of that shit's a distraction. And it ain't got nothing to do with you putting money away. And Black people, this is embarrassing and exhausting to the point where I need a drink. If we can't agree to save money and build credit, we don't deserve to be a race, because our ancestors did more with less. And it is an embarrassment to them for us to be sitting there talking about shit from the universe when all I'm trying to do is get people to save money and build their credit so you can buy whatever you want to invest in. That is the key point. In Black people, it is the hardest conversation to have, to get Black people to talk about, this is the money show, and we're talking about all kinds of shit. Like, and we only talk about current events that add something to it because Black people don't want to hear about money. But somehow people say, oh, Black people, we can't do it because of our race. Man, I got 4 businesses in this house and I'm working my ass off. And I employ Black people. So it is doable. I just don't buy into the narrative that because I'm Black, I'm at a disadvantage. You are a Black woman in this country. You are at an advantage because you have grants and scholarships that are donated to Black women. Affirmative action, especially in California. If you're a Black woman and you're on your shit, you got money falling from the sky. My daughter has gotten so many grants that are for Black women. She got and she's getting money all over the place because she's Black.
Why is that?
Because
I just saw something yesterday that the $2 billion Wells Fargo is going to grant to Black women and women of color. Why is it predicated upon sex?
That's where
I'll tell you why. Because that's what the social design is.
Possibly.
It's been that way. When you go into corporate America, in terms of what we consider quote unquote Black, who is the representation there? Women. So you have to understand the psychology that comes back with it, and to be able to overcome it.
In my house.
You don't know the enemy you're fighting. If you don't know the enemy you're fighting, then you don't know how to fight it. And we are talking about within a capitalist, so we are talking about money.
I would say this too.
I'm a Black man that says you got to be an entrepreneur.
Well, the Black women don't run my house, don't run my neighborhood. The women in this house do not run this neighborhood.
It's just understanding. That's all it is.
No, I know, but I'm saying
about where you are so you can build.
I'm saying, but as Black people, there are things out there for us. That's the point I'm making. I have a son in Berkeley and a daughter at UCLA, and there are Black events. Matter of fact, UCLA did a Black intro day just for Black people. Can you imagine if they did a white intro day? Like I'm saying, she went to 2 intro days, 2 brewing days. One for Black people and one for everybody. She got 2 opportunities to get on campus and learn the terrain. She is ahead of everyone else because she is Black. We're going to use that power in those grants and get her into neuroscience so we can stack her money. Okay. That's the point I'm making.
I can agree with that. You know, go study a degree that you can get in that's actually, you know, you have the ability to carve yourself out in.
Right.
Too many of us have degrees that, you know, they're just not like specialized enough. For instance, I have an MBA. If I had a degree in medicine and I was a doctor, that would be more leverageable. Just like, you know, if I was an engineer, you know.
I mean,
but other than that, be an entrepreneur. Take that money, be an entrepreneur.
Well, you should. I'm just making a point because she was Black, there was things for her. That's it. Regardless of what she does from here, she got a father in her life that is going to push her and give her direction. That was my point, and I'm going to end with this because I do need to roll. Is as a Black man, if we step up front, our Black women are getting these grants. If we can get in the picture with them, we can move mountains. Our people aren't going to be shit until the Black man takes his role in the universe. And I don't care about the baby's mama, how mean she is. Today, I just bought my ex-wife a car. I just bought her a car today. And me and her, I wanted to stab this lady. I went and bought her a car today because I'm like, fuck it. I'm the man. She's like, you let me down. You left me. You said you was going to be with me forever. And that was one night during sex. And she going to hold it against me forever. But I was like, all right, I'm going to get you a car. Gave her money to start her business. I'm like, okay, I'm doing my part. Now what? And that is our role as Black men. We swallow the shit and say, we fucked up. How do we fix it? Watch how our Black women get in line when the Black man moves the distractions and excuses and says, I got this, man, we will be unstoppable. That's a fantasy for black women to have a bunch of black men in the room moving mountains, and it shouldn't be.
No, I get you, Walter. I get you 100%. I get you 100%. And you and Demetra, you know what? You guys have your worldview is based on your upbringing, and you two have had the benefit of having, you know, a very disciplined man in your house. Now, that thing isn't necessarily true for a lot of people in our age group because of what, you know, was done socially. So you guys got your head screwed on right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your father was ultra, you know, disciplined.
There's a lot of truth to that.
You know, you have an advantage. And so, you know, for those of us who grew up without a father in the house, but who have our heads screwed on, we because you and I, we're talking about the same thing, making money on our own outside of the system that they set up for us, which is basically, you know, a daily plantation that you go to from 8 to 5. And they control you and own your life. So you and I are talking about the same thing. And it's like, how do we do it? You know, and the other thing is this. Hey, the world is our oyster. Where can we do it best? And I'm sorry, I like growth economies, just like you would move to a state that has, you know, that's one of the top economic growing states in the country. I mean, for me, I would kind of be looking at Austin, Texas.
I like Austin.
That's I would have to deal with that. But that's money. That's money. I would move there and start open my businesses there, you know, or open offices there.
Austin, they're leading the collapse in the U.S. and real estate. Austin is getting their ass kicked. I went to Austin first. They are getting murdered in Austin, Texas. And that's a whole nother show. We can do that later.
They're tied to tech. They're tied to tech. That's why.
Yeah, just go somewhere and start something. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Just start something. I don't care. Even if you suck at it, just start something. And we have to get in front of our people and our kids. That's all. Our kids are suffering, they're dying, and coming to the close is they are screwed unless we, like my son Evan, my daughter Morgan, they're kind of out there, oh, what do we do? And I had to kidnap these two. Damn it, I'm on my way over there later tonight to get in their face and say, I am the one that's leading this family. I don't care what your mama said, all that. It's over. It's my job to get them to the promised land. Period. Their mama ain't gonna do it, and it's not a woman's job to lead her kids to the promised land. It's the father's job. And when you take the father out of the household, and if you don't have a father in your life, you got YouTube, you got The Minister, you got Claude Anderson, you got there's books. I have 10 books written by black men. I have 10 fathers in that bookshelf. So you can turn on YouTube and you can have a father figure. And even if you know that you didn't have a father figure, you already get it. So you can go out and get this information from somewhere else. Most of my knowledge I've got from YouTube. That's how I started these candles, my clothing line, all this stuff I started from YouTube. My father just showed me how to get up and go get money. And I added on top of it. That was it. My father laid the seed. But what if I didn't have a father? I would have had to learn it from somewhere else.
Right. You're 100% right. It's so funny because I almost called you Donovan because, you know, it's like you guys are so tight that it's almost like, you know, listening to Demetra speak, listen to you speak, listen to Donovan speak. You are going to pretty much be saying the same thing. I was like, I almost called you Donovan. But yeah, if you don't have it, you're going to have to learn it from somewhere. And, you know, I'm an uncle, so I try to depart that knowledge to my nephews and stuff like that. And they turned out pretty good. The ones that didn't have fathers. And I had a little bit of input from my uncles in terms of things. And that's the us thing. That's the us thing. You want to talk about us? Start with your family first.
Absolutely.
Start with your youngins first.
Yes.
And you go from there. And it's just, you know, it's just really apparent. We understand, you know, the outcomes of whether you had a father. We understand all that. But at the end of the day, it is your responsibility, particularly as a man, to go get it, to figure it out and make it happen. That's your responsibility, whether you're by yourself, because I don't have any children, ain't never been married. Whether you're by yourself or whether you have a responsibility of a family.
Absolutely. So listen.
Okay, so yeah.
We could be here all night, but my daughter's already coming here a million times like your dinner is cold. So I'm get off here. I know Walter's got a million things he got to do, and Brother Don, I know you got a million things you got to do, but we'll continue this conversation on next Wednesday. We're going to come up with some more strategies on how to get to the money. But as always, Brother Don, we love and appreciate you. Irons does sharpen iron. I'm going to put this question up. I think Brother Thunder deserves to have a question answered. It says, what would be some good skills to learn that would be in demand during an economic crisis? I take
stuff to consumers. When we have a recession at a 10% unemployment rate, that means 90% of the people are still spending money. So create something to sell to the 90%. When the economy turns to crap and we have a 10% unemployment rate, 90% of the people will be able to buy these candles. And that's
and in short, just to say this, read Carter G. Woodson's Miseducation of the Negro, and he talks about that. The simple things. That's what we forgot to do in our community, is continue on with the simple things. So you can even look at it on, I think it's on YouTube, audiobook or something like that. The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson speaks perfectly to that. Thunder. So anyway, yes, Brother Reggie, trying to get on out of here. Love and appreciate you guys always. We may not always agree, but it's all love because we are family at the end of the day. So till next time on Sunday, Donovan and I will be back with a conversation. I'm sure it'll be interesting. You guys can chime in on it. Yes, Kimmy, thank you so much. Good night to you as well.
And go out, get some of these candles, man. They're all ready. I'll even wrap it myself for you.
There you go. So anyway, thank y'all. See y'all later. Peace.